Last chance here before we get the racing started. Our riders are just finishing up their warm-up efforts. The beverage garden's open. We got Postdoc Brewery and, of course, Locust Cider is pouring tonight. Madison is ready for a quick pickup over at their truck. Head up to the window and order a delicious, ready-made dinner pie. Savory flavors coming at you from Madison. Ready to go, no waiting needed. If you're feeling a little hungry tonight, you can head over there. We're going to be starting racing in just a matter of minutes. Again, a unique format tonight, so we're going to be doing a lot of communicating both on track and with our officials and with all the folks here in person. If you're joining us online, you've found your way to the live stream. Thank you for supporting us in the online space as well. You can find the stream if you're trying to find it. You're here in person, you want to share it with somebody. The easiest way to get there is the velodrome.org/live link. Again, you can just go to your smart device and type in velodrome.org/live, and it'll have a link directly there for the YouTube live stream, which you are free to follow, give a thumbs up on, of course, subscribe to the channel, and share with friends and family out there so they know we got great things happening here in Redmond. Final chance here to get your spot found around the rail. We're going to be getting this thing started really shortly. We're starting off with a warm-up scratch. It gives me a lot of time to talk about these fields and introduce the riders to you. So I'll try to talk a little bit about the riders and these athletes that you'll be watching tonight. A little bit about each of the fields. And after that, we'll get started with a Camp Velo graduation. Then the Carnival will begin. Are you ready for this thing on the infield, it looks like? So we're going to go ahead and turn down the music for a moment. Athletes, if we could call your attention on the infield for an important meeting before we get started. Good to get ourselves together ahead of this crazy thing getting started. Rider meeting on the infield. Thank you.
All right, at least look towards the podiums. It's old teacher habit, eye contact. Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming out. This is an awesome group. I'm really excited for 10 teams of Madison. Woohoo! A few things about the schedule. Obviously, it's very unique. The warm-up scratch races are warm-up scratch races. They do not count at all. They're going to be used for Corey to introduce you. You could wave. If you want to sprint at the end, you could. But really, it's kind of an introduction to everybody. They are going to be rolling out extremely quick. When the group in front of you finishes, you are starting your 5 laps. So I will be getting people staged like our COVID protocol over in the warm-up circle. So listen to me to stage, but like I said, we're fighting over frequencies. But so listen to me for staging. We're going to try to move very quickly. The wheel races, your positions have already been chosen. They are on the /live in the results. If you want to figure out where you are starting, it's a handicap scratch. I will be announcing it as well. We're going to need holders, as in you're going to have to hold a buddy. It's going to be a fun race. Okay? Madison, yeah, you'll go to your spot. Madison's in your warm-up scratch. You guys could exchange if you wanted. In your wheel race, you cannot exchange. You are both being scored individually for points. So you want to work together to do the best you can. I think that's everything else. Did you have anything you want to add? Oh, I think we'll throw them. Okay, that means D group to the rail. We're going to start you all from the rail. C group, in the warm-up circle, I'm going to stage you very shortly. So C group, you should be in the warm-up circle. I will be staging you in a minute. So this is our D group. Up at the rail, there should be 12.
All right, this is the beginning of the program tonight. Thanks for joining us here at the Velodrome. Our first group going out, this is the D group. If you're looking at the schedule, you'll notice that each of our groups are going out for a warm-up scratch, which gives me a good opportunity to use the microphone to talk a little bit here. The points don't matter in this particular race. The riders get an opportunity to see who showed up tonight. They get to ride alongside each other, go for 5 quick laps around the track while I introduce these fields and let you know who's out here today. So as they come by, give them a little bit of a cheer. Pick out your favorites as we're looking around, and I'll try to give you some riders to keep your eyes open for as they're out here tonight. All right, at the front of the field right now, that's Emily Alexander leading on the very first lap for Liquid Velo, number 113. She's got 2 junior competitors right behind her. We got Lucy Gilchrist and Rue Tomko back-to-back here, leading out now, the young riders at the front. You'll notice there's quite a few juniors, and if you're not sure who to cheer for, it's pretty easy to pick a junior out at our field. There's a lot of riders in that black and blue kit of the Jerry Baker Juniors team. So keep your eyes out for them and support the kids if they're doing well.
C group, you should be staging right now. C group, you should be staging.
Other juniors in that field, I got Leah Hulslanders out there and recent national champion in her age group, Kelly Darlene. That's number 101 for the Jerry Baker Juniors team, so you're going to want to keep your eyes on her. She'll be a speedster in this field. Number 121 just came to the front is Patricia Murray. Calls San Diego hometown, so if you're from that part of the country, you'll want to make some noise for 121 as she rides by in the white kit there. We got a couple riders from the Founts Cycling Guild, so if you know the dark green squad of Founts Cycling, we got number 218 is Megan Henry. Alicia Stotts, number 204, is also out there enjoying some racing tonight. Catherine Wade Easley is in the blue jersey. Her bib number is 208 for the UBC team. She's been having a very successful early season as well, someone to keep your eye on in this field, number 208. Who else do I see out here? It looks like the Audi team in red. That's Heather Nielsen, number 111, who's been very active since the beginning of the season here. She's been here practically every week putting in her efforts, so I'm sure she's trying to put together an exciting weekend of racing for herself as well. And never leave out number 102 in any competition when it comes to these riders. Annette Williams for the Kenmore Velo Center Cycles team. She's in bib 102, and I'm trying to find her out there because, again, it's a rider I want you to keep your eyes on. She's got the blue kit and black helmet. She'll be coming around onto the home straight here in just a second. Again, number 102 is Annette Williams for the Kenmore Velo Center Cycles squad. Want to keep your eyes on her. She's got tonight the colors of the country on her. She's wearing her stars and stripes. So that's going to be easily one of the fastest riders that I see out in this group on this particular evening. So lots of great riding to come from this group. They're on their final lap. As they come by, Group C, we're going to bring you out, and we'll try to get you guys all introduced.
So C group, if you are not over here right now, we are rolling out. So C group, if you're not here, you're going to miss your warm-up scratch.
Here comes the sprint for our warm-up scratch, getting up to speed. A couple of the riders I mentioned earlier. Put your hands together for our D group. We're going to see a lot of racing from them tonight. Annette Williams and Kelly Darlene say, sure, we'll clean this warm-up up right now. And out to the track comes the C group.
And that means B group, you are staging. B group, you're going to be staging.
This is a large group here, folks. The C group has got the most number of competitors, I think, out of our open group registrations tonight. So we'll try to get through as many of these riders as I can and try to highlight who to keep your eyes on. As, again, a lot of our riders signing up here tonight. There's lots of juniors. How do I start with them? The Jerry Baker Junior team looks to have 7 competitors signed up tonight. So look out for the black and blue to be riding pretty fast this evening. Joe Spranger is 333. Definitely been impressive this year as he's gotten a couple upgrades. Number 333 is one to watch. Peter Gilchrist, 338. J.C. Pyle, one of the younger riders out there in this group, 406. Keep your eyes on him as well. Karsten Funt, Jacob Luna, and Parker Stanford is 415, 416, and 417. Those boys have been having really good success, and a lot of those guys I just mentioned also traveled to Trexlertown in Pennsylvania and are fresh off of their efforts at Nationals and had a really good time there and were very successful. Merrick Gallagher is another one of our younger juniors in this field. He's number 454. So look out for him. Founts Cycling has Brendan Conifer out there. Fell Swoop with Ben Flom. He has been one rider to watch, and he's already at the front of the field. So you see that rider in orange and black? keep your eyes on what he does in this ride tonight, because whenever he's at the front, riders are going to be watching him because he's very powerful from the front of the field. We got a couple sprinters in here. I see one, Ken Dong for Dyna Racing, number 302. You want to keep the race short, but if you can get up to top speed, you'll want to watch out for the rider in pink, 302. For Spark Cycling Project, Tyler Arnoldi, he's known, made his presence known on the road, but he's also joined us here on the track this season, has been making some noise, so we'll look forward to watching him. Brett Seahorn, the veteran, number 325 in yellow. He's the one closest to the rail right now. Wilson Turk's out there for First Strike Velo, that's 424. Scott Grinsel, also of the Dyna Racing teams, Mr. G, as we like to know him. He's a fan favorite with that nickname. He's right at the back of the pack right now. He's taking a cruise on the warm-up lap, so you'll keep your eyes out for Mr. G. That's number 434. Jason Fuller, 446. David Parsons, 453 for the Talk of Time Northwest team is out here today. Sam Frigo for the Gene Johnson cycling team is 455. That's a new name around here at the track, so keep your eyes for Sam and see what he does here, as he's a new presence to race amongst us. Who else I got out here? David Gilchrist, 499. He's got his son out here in the field too. He's trying to best the kid. So if you've got that kind of, you want to see dad beat the kid, then cheer for David Gilchrist, 499. Just about everybody out here. I got the Fount Cycling team also has Colin Stotts, another one of the young riders who had a good showing at Nationals. Gene Wainwright for the Dyna Racing team is number 312. Lot of riders in this group. Flow Cycling Factory team, number 420. Where's Stan at? Here he is. He's in the blue. He's right in the middle of the sprint now, off the back of it on the back straight. So we'll keep our eyes open for a lot of these great riders tonight. Who's going to try to make a name in the warm-up scratch? Might as well get out in front and get everybody clapping for him. That looks like Joe Spranger, one of the kids, wants to get a little anxious on this first sprint tonight. Why not? Let's make it a real warm-up. Peter Gilchrist joining in on that one. And then 341 flying in there as well. B group coming up. Madisons, you'll be next.
And Ben is in this race too. He's double dipping, so he's going to catch up to this group. Oh, someone went fast. Sorry, Ben. You're in this race. Ben's in that race.
Thank you. All right, on the track now is the B group for their 5 laps around the track. Since I've been starting with the young riders first, I'll go and do the same here. We've got a couple young riders in this field. One of the sprinting specialists, which we'll have a chance to see some top speed efforts tonight, I'm sure, is Carl Pratis, 304, with an impressive showing at Nationals, placing in, I believe, third. Am I getting that right? Third place in the sprint tournament for his age group, which is very impressive. So 304, keep your eyes on him for top speed. His teammate out there, Henry Kaiser, the Laser, we call him number 44, is a speedster as well. So watch out for him. Is he out there with his orange helmet tonight? That always makes it easy. No, shucks. In the junior kit with a black helmet, Henry Kaiser, number 44. Fount Cycling, once again, I see a couple names on here, so I'll go to them. Chris Wilson, number 39, who's been having a great season out here racing and is one to get off the front. So keep your eyes for him to make an effort to get away from some riders on some of the longer races tonight, which you'll have some opportunity to do later in the race program. Another speedster is Alex Siegel, number 27, riding for the Broadmark Realty team. He's got the white jersey with blue colors and shorts there. That's going to be number 27. Kind of mid-back pack, another fast finisher. And guess whose wheel he's on? He's on the wheel of Carl Pratis, the other fast finisher in this group. Ben Flom's double dipping, so if you want to be impressed by the double dipping efforts of number 328 for Fell Swoop, I told you to watch out for him in the C group. Well, he's here in B group too. So he didn't think that was enough signing up for one field. He's going to be doing 2 of them tonight. Kit Colbert for the Broadmark Apple team is also out there. Where's he at? Number 334, right in the middle of the field. Been having a great season with us. Austin Hildreth has been speeding up week after week. That's number 320 as he swings up towards the rail a little bit in the blue and dark blue colors. 320 with the black helmet. I also see one of our competitors with a quick finish, David Bryan, 322, as he takes the front. He's got the dark blue with the white helmet. Look out for him in a short race. He can put on one heck of a fast kick and effort for you. There's the one to go. And how can I go through this list without talking about Mike Darlene, Center Cycles, number 31. He's right in the middle of the field in the dark blue for Center Cycles. I know there's a lot of blue in these fields. What can I tell you? Stephen Wilsons for the Caliber Home Loans Gerks team has been a real speedster this season. We're going to keep our eyes on him, number 25. He's near the back with the kind of neon socks. And once again, what color is he wearing? Blue. We got to get some changes of colors here, teams. And finally, I got one more for you, and that's Snowby. Peter Snoblin, number 303 for Aerotech Racing in the white. Whoa, Siegel and Pratis. What'd I tell you? They're the ones that want to go for a sprint, then they do it. Hillspreth and Darlene also come up to the front. I was just finishing up on Snoblin, who comes in 5th across the line there. That's number 303 in the white with black. And finally, our Madison teams. This is a lot to talk about in 5 laps. I thought I was going to run out of words to say. But I'm constantly having to talk about this. This is quite fun. I may request this on a normal Friday night. These riders are going to be competing as teams throughout the event. Some races you'll see both riders on the track. Some they're going to take turns. And then, of course, the Madison in itself is a team race in which both riders take turns racing. So you're going to be watching these teams out here a lot. And you can see that they're racing next to each other right now, so it's easier to kind of see who's who. It's always easy to tell who's the teammate of these riders based on the color of their jerseys. They are wearing jerseys tonight to make it really clear for us who is on these teams.
Group D, come here at the podium. Group D, come say hi.
At the front right now, they've got the colors on as the single malt Velo team. I know Hawley's on that squad. He's the one in number 34. I believe he's riding on the inside line, so we'll watch for team single malt Velo. If that's not a good name, I don't know what is. At the front now, Fount Cycling. We've got 2 riders riding for their squad as well. It looks like Brandon Russell, known as Brando. And he's riding with the Rocket, David Richter. So they'll make a pairing tonight. Richter's on the inside, Brando on the outside. We got Kenny Williams and Andy Baker both wearing the Stars and Stripes. Proud of their national efforts that they've had some great success racing outside of the region. And they're going to team up tonight to make a team. Right behind them, it looks like we've got the orange and pink squad, which as they come back around, I'll get a better look at their face and make sure I announce everybody who's here. I know for it looks like the yellow squad with the blue shorts is going to be Andrew Karlberg, and I believe he's teaming up with his teammate Nicholas Martinez. So that'll be the yellow team. They're 3rd in that lineup right now. That looks to be Vern Cole riding alongside of Eric Waterman for the team that is orange colored, the number 2 jerseys. Nolan Adams has got a buddy there as well in the pink. I believe the partner for Nolan Adams is, oh, nope, that's not correct. I'm not reading that right. That's okay. I'll figure it out when they come back around. There's our one to go. Who wants to go win the warm-up here? Team Yellow making some noise. The blue team looks to be Carl Hofer, the rider at the front position now. So on this warm-up scratch, Team Blue and Team Yellow trying to make some noise as everybody's rolling up to speed for the sake of warm-up. Other riders out here, we got Brett Walker, Bobby Walther, Kelly Please, David Branson, Ryan Meinhardt, Mike Ritter, Mike Robson competing today. Matty Hers is out here riding as well. Our riders will take an exit on the back straight as they are all finished up with their warm-up. And with that, it's time to call our Camp Velo graduation. Look at that. Hey, there's Nolan Adams wanting some extra cheering. Come on now.
So Group D, while the juniors are getting set up, are going to go stand on the grass by their meter mark. Group C and B and Madison's are going to do the same. So Group C, if you have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about, come see me. Group C, if you have absolutely come over. If you need to know where you are starting, come here.
We're not just a race facility, we're also an education facility, and tonight we welcome a new group of riders into the track community after completing their week of racing and training and fun at Camp Velo. Riders that complete the week are invited to continue to race here at the Velodrome once they've learned the basics of handling the bike, learn the rules of the track, how to move safely in a group of riders. We do an Italian pursuit out here, which is a fun and exciting way to be able to cheer for every single new rider that's going to be joining us. And I'll make sure to announce them when they're the lead of their groups as well, so we can all give them a good round of applause when they're riding by us. On the home side, we're going to be seeing Mark, Andrew, David, Zoli, and Matthew racing. They'll be going up against the back squad, which is going to be Brooklyn, Renna, Kaylin, Brody, and Charlotte. And I think they got them all in that order. We're going to send that back straight squad around, and it'll actually be my job to start the race. Sounds like we're going to do a pistol shot tonight, so I've been retired from the job. I've been replaced. So we'll listen for the sound of the pistol to start this race this evening, give a little more pageantry for tonight's race. Okay, that's for the wheel race. That's what I thought. Okay, so I'm still the one starting this one. So it felt very serious for that particular use. But you know what? We could do it. We can always do it. Somebody petition for it. I'd say sure. All right, you can see all the chaos here on the field as the wheel races, which are about to start. Riders are going to start in different places around the track based on where we kind of think their relative start positions ought to be. So they've been given an assigned location in what will be a very fast race of top speed.
The wheel race riders should be on the grass still. Do not be on the apron, be on the grass. The juniors are going to be going first. B group and Madison riders, if you do not know your wheel race starting position, come see me. You're going to go stand there now to help hold.
So our back straight squad now rolling out to the back straight to get their start. Once they're there, I'm going to look for the hands up to say that both sides are ready. And then I'll give the ready, set, go. The riders will be off for 5 laps, 1 lap per rider. Once they've done their effort, they can pull off. And again, as they come by, I'll make sure to announce who that rider is. We all give them a nice round of applause as we welcome them to the track community and hope to see them back for more racing on Monday nights, where we host junior racing every week during the summer months.
Wheel race riders, make sure you're completely off the apron. Completely off the apron. You need to be on the grass. Wheel race riders, be on the grass, please.
All right, confirming the officials are going to do a whistle start. So we'll be awaiting for the whistle from our officials to start this race. And there's our start. The kids are away. 5 laps. That's Mark getting things started on the home straight. Featuring not just the efforts of our youngest riders in the future of the sport, but also some of our great rental fleet here, since these riders are oftentimes using and borrowing the bikes that belong to the velodrome, thanks to our generous community support for helping purchase these bikes that our kids can come out here and use. Here comes our backstraight team, Brooklyn, on her effort. Crushing it. Nice out of the saddle. Good speed. 9 through 16-year-olds invited to participate in the Camp Velo program. It's a week-long camp you sign up for at velodrome.org. Spots limited every year. You might have to wait till next summer at this rate to find a spot to go. Andrew takes the front as Mark does an excellent job. He'll pull up to the right. Good form. One of the big focuses on this week, of course, is safely following riders, getting to that pace line, being consistent with the turn of the pedals. And both teams doing a really nice job, as I just watched Mark come off the front, Andrew's at the front. His squad is doing a great job staying on the wheel and keeping it nice and safe. Here comes Renna from the back half, taking the front of her team. We're going to do an awesome job leading out the lap. We'll be watching Andrew coming up here back onto the home straight on his effort. Nicely done on that lap. Yep, Andrew's going to pull up, and now it's David's turn. David in the blue shirt heats it up and picks up the tempo for his team. Oh, man. We've done quite a few Camp Velo graduations this summer. This might be the one that's got the most competition in the air right now, as the home squad is a little bit ahead of the back straight squad, but you know what it's all about, right? Welcoming the kids to the track, and they're having a good time out here, racing safe and fast. Kaylin's leading it out right now for her team. She's got a half lap to go. On the home straight, David finishing up, and here comes Zoli to lead it out. Just about there for the juniors. They're doing a good job today. They'll be in their final 2 laps. The back straight team coming on now to the front of the track. That's Brody at the front, leading things out this time. Nice job to Brody. How about Brody and Charlotte as they come by? They're getting the 1 to go. It's really a lap and a half. Keep it going. Nice job.
Like a wheel race riders, cheer on these juniors. There should be like a wall of cheers over in corner 1 and 2.
Zoli coming up and giving room for Matthew. Matthew is going to be the closer for his team, and he's got some speed left in him. The hardest job of all. You had to stick in for the 4 laps, and now you're still supposed to go fast. Okay, Beverage Garden, here's your chance. Her name's Charlotte. Let's hear it. Charlotte's closing for her team. Here we go. The final effort. Nice work. Both teams finishing up here as they come to their finish line. One more time for Matthew, closing for his team. Nice job. And the back straight just about finishing up as Charlotte will come across the line. Very nicely done. All junior riders are going to need to make your way back to where you came in. We'll get you out of here shortly. Taylor's got you. Coach has got it figured out. Hey, folks, how about one more round of applause for our newest members of the track community and Mom and Dad for taking the time to sign them up and bring them out here. We know it's a big commitment. We appreciate all of you do. All right. Nice job, kids. Wheel races coming up. We've got each group going to be racing in a very fast and very short wheel race. You'll see how this goes. We're going to start with the D group. Those riders going to be coming up track first.
We're going to wait for our junior rider to get off the track, and then we'll put our D riders on the apron at their appropriate handicap distance. Corey, do you want to list who's where? They should know, but go ahead and list who's where so everyone knows what's up in that D group.
All right, so first up, we've got, in this order, starting at the 0 mark, Kelly Darlene, Annette Williams, Heather Nielsen, Emily Alexander, Pat Murray at the 60, Alicia Stotts at 75, Megan Henry 90, Lucy Clymer-Kennedy 105, Kat McGee 120, Lucy Gilchrist 135, Leah Hulslander 150, Ruth Tomko 170. Riders, this will be a start from the pistol for your group. We're getting staged now as it looks like the juniors are off, so D group on track. This is a 2-lap race. Riders are set at a handicap distance based on where we kind of place them with their overall speed, so we're trying to give the riders that may have either a little bit less finishing power, a little less endurance, a better starting position, making it harder for other riders. And it's over in 2 laps, so it's going to be awfully fast. Riders start earning points now in this weekend of racing, so this race now counts towards their finishing points. That'll be all calculated out over the course of 2 days of racing. All right, riders are ready on the pistol. There we go. The sound of the pistol starts this race off, and the D group now in their first competitive effort today. Nice start on the back straight for Ruth Tomko, who's got the best starting position. Rue's going to be getting the bell. Do you want to see the junior get it? It's a long way to go for the back of this race. Can they get up to the front? Rue's got the advantage. They're on a nice tear at 1 to go. Lucy Gilchrist trying to chase down. Can the riders from all the way downtown, Annette Williams and Kelly Darlene are in the chase. They're making their way up, but they've got a ways to go still. The biggest disadvantage in the long way around the track. Can they make it? It's still Rue at the front. The best starting position with the best effort so far. Still off the front, and they look like they cannot be caught just yet. Lucy and Leah trying to catch on. Come on, Rue, here we go. Whoa, here they come. It's going to be close, but it'll be Rue for the big win. Lucy going across the line second, and Leah third in the wheel race. Way from downtown, 201 and 101 and 102 make a big effort to work their way up. Not able to catch the front in 2 short laps. C group, you're coming on up. Holders, please. All right, really quickly to go down the list of our starters here and where they should be starting. A longer list here, starting at the 0 mark. Joe Spranger, Ben Flom at 10, Peter Gilchrist 20, Gene Wainwright 30, Ken Dong 40, Joseph Deck 50, Brett Seahorn 60, Tyler Arnoldi 70, Sam Frigo 80, Brendan Confer 90, Jacob Luna 100, Stan Douglas 110, Nathaniel Clark 120, Colin Stotts 130, Parker Stanford 140, Scott Grinsell, Mr. G at 150, David Gilchrist 160, Merrick Gallagher 170, Wilson Turk 180, JC Pyle 190, Jason Fuller 200, David Parsons at the 210 meter line. Sound of the pistol, riders ready. And there's our pistol and the racing's underway. Once again, it's a 2-lap event, and they're going to be hearing the bell on this lap. It's an awfully fast event. Watch the back end and see how close they can get. They've got one heck of a hill to climb. Joe Spranger with the biggest distance to cover, and the bell's ringing. 1 to go. Parsons got the best start. The chase is on. Only 10 meters of distance separating each of these riders means that they can clump up pretty quick. But this is such a fast race and such a long distance to cover in just 2 laps. Can anybody catch on to the front? I think the biggest gain so far has been the rider in blue, as Stan Douglas has made a nice climb up in the finishing order here. But the riders with the best start, Fuller, Parsons, and Pyle will come in here. It looks like it'll be Parsons and Pyle going 1 and 2. Scott Grinsell works his way up about 6 positions in pink to get way up there. And I think Stan Douglas also moved way up, number 420, to get 5th overall. That's a hard one. You got to be able to get up to speed awfully fast to compete in the wheel race, let me tell you. Whew. Okay.
So the Group D that just finished, we're going to need holders. So Group D, if you could go look around and see who needs a holder, go help. So if you can hold somebody, go help. Especially the Madison riders, we're going to need help.
Yes, we need help from competitors to hold. So please turn back around. If you can hold, I know you want to go rest for a moment. We need some help with the holding, so thank you. B group, starting back at the 0, Stephen Wilson's 20 meter, Mike Darlene, 40, Chris Wilson, 60, Alex Siegel, 80, Henry Kaiser, 100, Ben Flaum, 120, Peter Snoblin, 140, Austin Hildreth, 160 meter, Kit Kilbert, 180, Carl Pratis, 200, Kelly Darlene, 220, David Mullen, and 240, David Bryan. Two double dippers in this group, actually. Kelly Darlene racing in the D group and the B group, and so is Ben Flom double dipping between C and B. Man, that's intense. We're almost set to go. Just giving time for officials to make sure they're all caught up and ready to watch the next race before we start this thing. We're going at a good clip right now. All right. Okay, looking for the ready call. Are we ready to go? Looks like everybody's up on the bike. All right. I think I saw a wave from the backfield, so I think we're good to go. All right. Riders ready on the sound of the pistol. Here we go. Fast 2 laps. B group for their first competitive ride of the weekend. Stephen Wilson's with the hardest start. Three laps, thank you. So they're going to get a bell next time. That's helpful with this 20-meter separation between the riders. Gives a little bit more time for things to come together.
C group, if we could go see if the Madison teams need holders, like the white team is lonely in the back straight. Go see who needs holders for their start. So C group, go see who needs help.
Big effort here to get up to the front as our riders at the back half are just now coming across the finish line. David Bryan had a really good starting position. He's doing a good job holding off the charge. But look out for the junior Carl Pratis. I mentioned him during the warm-up. He had a pretty good starting spot and a fast finishing kid. Can he get up there in time? The bell's ringing for him. David Mullen also in the chase here for Hagens Berman, number 323, as the bell's ringing. There's Kelly Darlene, one of our double dippers. Austin Hillspreth, number 320, in pursuit. Looks like the race down the back straight might be the kids to take as Carl Pratis is maybe about ready to catch here. Pratis on his effort catches David Bryan, and he might be our early leader in the B group. That's Carl Pratis to take the B group's opening race tonight.
Madison teams, if you need a holder, like wave your hand frantically. Red team in corner 3-4. Can I have 2 people head to the red team? Juniors, someone go help corner 3-4. Joe, Jacob, go.
There's 3 teams in, yep, 3 teams in need of help.
We need people to walk or run and help hold. Joe, Jacob, corner 3-4. Someone on the 200-meter line needs help. Thank you, Stan.
Still looking for a couple more on the back. I think the riders are coming here to you. I think we got some juniors on the way for the blue team. Both riders starting at the same spot for their Madison team. This is going to be a 5-lap race, so the longest race of the wheel race today. And riders can each individually score, so they're going to be working hard at the same time to get as far up as they can to add points for their team. So the faster both riders go, the better off they are. So don't leave anyone behind. It's not going to be like a typical Madison where riders take their turns either. I think it looks like the Broadmark team, you guys could be side by side if you wanted to be, as all the other teams are in that formation. All right. Looks like we're just about set. We're looking for the call for all teams to be ready. Ready on the back. Ready on the front. Riders, ready on the sound of the pistol. Off we go. 5 laps for the Madison teams. Let's see, in 5 laps changes things up here as there's quite a bit of distance separating these teams. The Branson Please team here in the red, it gets the best starting position. They're coming up onto the home straight now as Meinhardt and Ritter in the blue are chasing. Walthar and Hildeman working together in the single malt colors. Coming across the line here in orange is Eric Waterman and Vern Cole. In the white is Brett Walker and Carl Hofer working up. They're usually race for the Audi team. Martin and Robson in Andrew Martin and Mike Robson in the blue are the next crew up there. Carlberg and Martinez in yellow. Matty Hers and Nolan Adams racing together in pink are the next team to be in this chase. Baker and Williams working together are the national colors team, and then it's going to be the fast and increasing speed of the Found Cycling team trying to work their way up in the green. That's the combination of Richter and Russell working together. 3 to go as the riders come across that time. It's still the blue team at the lead of the race. Everybody else behind them and try to catch back on, but with all this time to get up there, this might change. Ryan Meinhardt for the blue team now trying to bring this crew around and hold off the chasing riders behind him. The red team of Kelly Please and David Branson working together. The pace pretty quick here, and the chase is coming as most of the riders have formed a bit of a field here. The back half catching the middle of this race. Team Yellow still has more to give as Carlberg now takes the front from the field and tries to get up there. Martinez is losing a little bit of pace now, but it was Carlberg that'll try to close and catch and get as many points as he can. As the bells ring, it's 1 to go. It's still Meinhardt on the front. Can they get there in time? 1 to go. The blue team's on the lead. Kelly Please still digging down deep, but Carlberg for the yellow team is making his effort here. I think that white helmet on his wheel is Matty Hers. Usually rides for the Keller Rohrbach team, but he's wearing pink tonight for the Madison competition. It'll be Hers and Carlberg coming up to the front to try to catch this. Meinhardt's been out here for a while, but it may not be enough. One of the teams from the back has finally made it up to the front in the wheel race. It'll be our pink team. Working together, Matty Hers will be the rider to come across the line. Nolan Adams, his teammate, will be the best finishing squad overall. Carlberg still picking up a lot of points, as is Richter for his team. Meinhardt for the blue team placing in the top 5, and Richter brings along his teammate for even more points, Brando Russell, who between the two of them will probably be the best off after this race. Team Dark Green, look out for them to be atop the leaderboard early on tonight in the competition. All right, we're going to take just a moment here and reset ourselves for the next set of races. It won't be quite as crazy for the starts anymore. We're going to be doing mass start races for eliminations coming up, starting with the D group. The rail is yours.
Group D, you're going to the rail if you can. Group D, we'll get everyone up there. We'll take a little mini breather here. That was a lot of action. Back to back to back to back. So Group D, roll on up to the rail.
Up next, we got elimination races. This is a fun format. Riders got to survive lap after lap and being eliminated at the back of the field. Elimination, if that's the name of the race, it means that there is not a no pole lap. Once the eliminations start, they don't stop. It goes all the way down to the last 2 riders. So they'll have 3 laps at the front of this thing to kind of get started. You're going to hear a bell from the bell ringer on the infield. That's going to signal to the field that the next lap will be the first elimination. And after that, it's every single lap all the way to the last. So there's a bit of an interim here at the beginning for riders to kind of get set and together and ready to go, and then the eliminations come fast and furious all the way down to the last rider. And the whistle means racing's underway. Eliminations to start soon. We got a couple more laps here without the elimination. Listen for the bell, riders. That'll be your first elimination lap. So remember, each of these races adds up. It's a cumulative event. So if you're invested and you want to keep watching the racing this weekend, it starts tonight and it ends tomorrow. We've got racing starting at Saturday at 1 o'clock. We'll be back out here. The beverage garden will be open again, so if you're looking for some afternoon fun, we'll even help you with that. Plus, we'll be wrapping things up today from today's racing, as all the riders earning points today will conclude during tomorrow's session. We got to keep adding those up. Every race counts towards the big finish. So already the wheel race counting, their finishing order matters, as the front of the race gets points for each of these events. The first 5 riders, or the first 5 positions, 7, 5, 3, 2, and 1 to the front riders. All right, riders, here we go. Let's start this elimination off. You're going to be getting a bell this lap. Elimination starting as you'll be hearing the bell. Next lap, our first rider eliminated. So what you're going to be doing now, folks, if you're on the outside watching, You want to watch the riders at the back of the field. It does not mean that they're in trouble. They're going to be the ones that are going to have to be the most active. Keep your eyes on the wheels of the riders at the back, especially those near the blue line, right in the middle of the track. They're the ones that are committed to make the move and sprint around the field. Then the next thing you're going to want to watch is the rider in the back of the sprinter's lane, which is the lane between the black and the red line at the bottom of the track. They're the ones that have very little room to maneuver and are oftentimes stuck and get caught. So as you watch the riders sprint around the top, keep your eyes there, and then look at the bottom and see what happens as riders kind of get caught at the back of the field with almost nowhere to go. We'll see who gets caught on this first lap or if they can make a move to readjust. 2:04. 2:04. See, one of my jobs here is to teach you where to put your eyes so you can watch the action and enjoy it here. Once again, you see that wave coming over the top. Your eyes should go to the bottom and see if riders can maneuver to stay alive. That's 2:11. Catherine McGee.
Kat, thank you.
Sometimes what you'll see is riders are not happy with the pace. They'll actually accelerate and move to the front. In this D group, we see now one rider moving up to the front and try to pick up the pace again, even making it harder for these sprinters. And I'm watching one of the juniors who's been really remarkable on a couple laps sprinting over the field has been Leah Holsander. I think she may have been caught out this time as she finds herself a little off the pace ahead of the elimination. And that will be Leah, number 205, Leah Holsander. Doing an excellent job the previous couple laps. If you were watching that wave come over the top, you're going to see that a lot tonight. Let's see here. I'm watching one rider who's been down that sprinter's lane. She keeps finding her way in with just enough room. Is Clymer Kennedy. She's got the gray jersey on. She's down in the shortest part of the track. But if this field comes over the top of her right now, she's going to be in a tough spot. So we'll see how the rest of the field maneuvers as they should be now swinging out and coming up around on the group here. Oh, no. 09 is Clymer Kennedy. Lucy Clymer Kennedy. And I saw it coming from 200 meters out. I wasn't sure, but she was not quite able to find the space needed to hold on. We have 8 riders out here. We have to eliminate all of them. So there's going to be 2 riders in this field when the bell's ringing. So we just keep pulling riders. If you want points for the competition, you got to make it into the top 5. Rue's making the move down to the short lane. Will it work? Rue says nope. 5:10 is Rue Tomko. It's so good to turn left and go to that short lane, but then oftentimes, again, the field moves over the top of you. We're about 6 out from our next field, so C group for your elimination coming up here pretty soon. I see a lot of those riders now in the warm-up circle. Five more to eliminate before the bell rings and that final lap. Here we go. It's getting tight as riders having to go all the way across the track to survive. Who's going to be found here? Ooh.
Heather Nielsen.
Heather Nielsen, 111.
Heather Nielsen.
111. Nielsen. Here we go again. It's going to be another move around the outside. Oh, look out as we come across the track. It's all 2s today. Lucy Gilchrist doing a good job making it to this point in the race. She'll be found this time, though. We're into the top 5, so now the rider eliminated here gets 1 point for the competition over the weekend. So now we are into the points. Looks like one rider may have self-identified incorrectly, although making the move back up again. I believe that's Megan Henry for the Found Cycling team. First thought it might be her, but it's not, so she makes the effort to get back on. Can she hold on for another lap? This rider still gets a point. Who's it going to be? Whoa! 121. That's Patricia Murray. Megan Henry making the nice move to get back in on the field. Does not find herself eliminated this time, so good response, and really digs in deep to hold on. Pat still gets a point, though, so the rider in white coming off at least earns some points for her effort in this race. The next rider will be getting 2 points for the competition. There's a rider found cycling up and moving again. She's trying to hold on for another lap. 4 riders in this thing. That's Kelly Darlene at the front. Annette Williams, 2 of the riders I told you in that warm-up scratch to keep your eyes on, as they've been very strong this season. Emily Alexander says, I'm out. And she knows it too. She'll still get 2 points for her efforts tonight. Now the points get a little bit bigger. This is 3 points. The next rider will get 5, and the winner gets 7. So it's really important here now for Darlene at the front to figure out how to try to beat Annette Williams, who's had her number all season long, knows to be on her wheel, and has a really good finishing effort. Mixing this up a little bit, though, tonight is Megan Henry. Not been out frequently here at the track, a new face to mix up this group, and she's trying to hold on for one more lap as the 2 strong riders in front of her maybe just a bit too much. Ooh. That's 2:18. 1 to go between Williams and Darlene as Megan's caught that lap. Darlene riding a little high. It's going to be a match sprint. It's coming down to what will be about 200 meters before these riders re-engage it. Darlene's still waiting, trying to shorten the track. She'll get up to speed now as Williams just stares at her wheel, waiting for her to try to get up to speed now.
C group, you should be staging right there by that other group of people. You will roll to the rail and get a start.
Here we go, folks. Our top 2 for the elimination. Annette Williams and Kelly Darlene go 1 and 2 in this race. C group to the rail for the elimination. On deck, B group. All right. You will get a bell on that first lap as long as you get come out of the neutral together. You will be hearing a bell, and eliminations will start immediately. Cats. There's no cats tonight. C group. Cat C. Yeah, there we go. So C group out on the track now, and their neutral lap for another elimination. This is going to be, obviously, by the nature of the size of the field, a longer race. So this is going to lean more and more towards the endurance riders. Those with the good motor on them to go the distance will benefit from this length of race. A couple riders positioning themselves at the front. I mentioned him a couple times. It's Go Joe at the front, Joe Springer. Elimination next lap, riders. All right, so we're going to watch again. Your eyes should move to the back of the field as we come in through turns 3 and 4. You're going to watch the riders in the furthest back positions as they sweep up and try to find a spot along the top of this group. Who's out on lap number 1? 420 is Stan Douglas. '06 is JC Pyle. '06. All right, we got a long ways to go here. Riders coming out each time. This is going to be one heck of a elite group to get into the top 5, as you're going to have to survive many laps of elimination. Keep your eyes on the riders at the very front, too, and see how many of them survive all these laps of elimination. 453 is on David Parsons. Sorry. 453, Parsons. Right number, wrong name almost there, as Arnoldi almost caught at the back. He'll actually completely reposition himself now at the very front of this thing. He says, no thanks, I didn't like that. And there's nothing against the rules about doing this. Just come all the way to the front, why not? Race is still at the back, though. 302 is Ken Dong. 302. You see Arnoldi picking up the pace. He's making it super fast at the front now. Nearly caught a couple laps back. He says, I didn't like the way that felt. I'll do what I do best. Let's go for a long ride here, folks. So he's going to stretch this elimination out a little bit as riders respond to his pace, and we'll have to kind of work their way back up to him. This will also force riders in the back have a much harder time. And that's Jason there, 446. Arnoldi creates a little bit of a break off the front of this elimination race. Again, the racing is at the back, but if this break stays away, I mean, there's no reason why this can't form. And then we've got our top 3 if they could just keep away from the rest of the riders behind them. 2 juniors and Arnoldi working together. That's Carl Pratis at the very front. The field, though, is where we're going to want to keep our eyes as the sprint at the back. 4:08. He was awfully close. It was Colin Stotts making the move. 4:08. He was on his way. He just needed a little bit more time. The break is not too far. Ben Flom, the rider in black and orange for Fell Swoop. I mentioned him a bit during that warm-up as being a strong rider from the front of the field. He's doing the work of keeping the field very close. Maybe he's waiting for this, as someone else willing to go actually catch them will put in a little extra effort to get up there and bridge this thing all into one. Oh, watching for David to make a move here. Gilchrist is trying to hold on one more lap. Not quite enough. It's David Gilchrist, 499. He was on the acceleration he needed. Not enough time. After all that from Arnoldi, he's moved himself into the third wheel position as the field is caught up. He's down the sprinter's lane, forced the whole of the field to catch back onto this little chase that happened there, and Joe Spranger, right back where he was before, leading the field. Once again, our eyes to the back now as I see one of our juniors, Mayor Gallagher, is trying to hold on another lap. He'll make a nice acceleration, but Ben Flom says, I got more racing to do. 3:28 out for this one, but we'll see him again in the B group as well, so maybe he's playing his cards right and knows that this isn't going to go his way. He'll try to pick up more points in the next one. It's not often on a Friday night like this we get to see an elimination with a break from the front like that, even for a few laps. So a unique race here this evening for our C group. When you get a different group of riders together, things can get interesting. Pushing for the front again is Joe. The field started stretching out a little bit behind him. Brett Seahorn waving his hands, and he is called by the officials officially. 3:25 is out with style. "13 riders out in this field means we're still 12 out at the minimum. This, unless we have a mishap in terms of how the elimination happens, which can occur, which is why we're not showing how many laps there are to go at this point. Too far out to be sure. Oh, man. 4:54 is Merrick Gallagher. 4:54. The Western rider is going to hold on another lap, as it was awfully close between him and a couple of juniors. If that's Wilson Turk at the back of the field trying to hold on another lap. Let's see if he can find the speed needed. Looks like the answer is no. 4:59 is out of the race. Another quick acceleration from the front, stretching things out. Again, this race has been interesting. There's been more action at the front than in a typical night in elimination. .341 already waving his hand, knows it's coming. All right, so who's still in this thing? We got Arnoldi again back at the front. Joe Spranger, I've mentioned him a couple times. He's got his teammate Peter Gilchrist in there. Carl Pratt is still in the race. At the back of this thing, we had another one of our juniors. It looks like he might be losing the pace, though. .417. I always mistake Carl and Jacob for each other from a distance. That's Jacob Luna in the field for the junior team. He's near the back of the field, but he's been in this race the whole time. Peter is the rider third from the front. He's right behind his teammate Joe. We've also got Mr. G at the back end of this thing. He was the back of the warm-up race. He's at the back of this thing, sprinting every lap and holding on. So watch out for the Dyna Racer, who's had a good early season as well. Joe still just been holding pace. His entire field happy to be on his wheel. Mr. G making the sprint around the outside is going to leave somebody out. 457, Brendan Confer knows it's him on the inside. So Jacob Luna and Mr. G are both kind of playing the role of, they're kind of coming up around the top of the last second. They kind of call that the devil's roll. You get to snip off a rider at the very last second. Every time around, you surprise them by your acceleration. And they've both been doing a good job of that for the last couple of laps. We'll see here, Arnoldi finding his way to the back of the group will now have to sprint to hold on for another lap as well, the rider in the white and black. Jacob Luna, one of our juniors, they're up and out of the saddle, fighting for it. Might be Apex Racing caught out this time. 456. Without anywhere to go is Nathaniel Clark. When you're down there to the left, the rest of the field coming up over the top. 7 riders left. We got 6 laps of elimination to go at the minimum. We're not even into the points yet after all this racing. These riders are just now getting close to earning a point for the overall weekend competition. Mr. G coming around the outside again. Arnoldi's having to sprint to hold on another lap. Ooh, Luna. 416, Jacob Luna. Doing an excellent job making it that far in the race, but he will have to exit just before the points start coming out. Good racing all around here tonight for our C group, but we're just about to get into the points, and if you get eliminated now, it's going to sting even more. This isn't worth anything, but at least the next elimination is worth a point. Arnoldi at the back position again. Peter Gilchrist is in probably the toughest spot right now as he's down near the sprinter's lane. He'll have to move up. Gene Wainwright near the back in the middle. Ooh. 338 is Gilchrist by an inch. Peter Gilchrist on the inside. Gene Wainwright and Peter Gilchrist were the ones neck and neck for that one. Oh, man. Here we go. Racing up to the front again. This is Sam Frigo coming up to the front, the rider in the blue with the white helmet. Now at the lead of this race on an elimination lap. He's just going to try to blow this thing apart a little bit. Whoa. 312 is Gene Wainwright. He was sitting there hoping no one would catch him so he could get one more lap. But at least he gets a point tonight, so he's out with a point. But Arnoldi now makes the sprint to try to get back there. Otherwise, he'll find himself eliminated this lap. Spranger back at the front again, as Joe's been putting on a heck of a clinic today in terms of his endurance. Sam Frigo right behind him, number 55, and Mr. G for the Dyna Racing team make up our top 3. It looks like Arnoldi will be coming out 4th in this race. Frigo, Spranger, and Mr. G still in this thing. Tyler Arnoldi to find 2 points tonight. He'll make his way out. Nicely done. Mr. G also starting to slow down the pace. He's kind of giving it to the riders in front of him. As they're already starting to sprint against each other, he's like, I just need to get my points now. So Scott Grenzel for Dyna Racing looking to get 3 points as we watch Frito and Spranger in a sprint already. There's the bell. It's 1 to go. Look at this. These 2 racers in it for the win. Joe's got to get back up on the wheel. Behind them, we will see Dyna Racing picking up 3 with Scott Grinsell. But over here, back on turn 2, we're watching this match sprint between Sam Frigo and the junior Joe Spranger. As Go Joe Go is still on the move, and he'll take back the front wheel. Can Sam recover back in the slipstream and try to make a secondary move? He still has time. Here he goes. He's going to try and reaccelerate things. Maybe you're trying to sucker punch him into coming around the outside. Now it's his turn to try to come back up. It's going to be Joe versus Sam. Sam with another acceleration. So it's like, man, are you kidding me? Frigo for the win. Joe Springer will find second. They'll go 7-5 in their competition for the weekend, so they'll be feeling good about that. B group to the rail, please. All right, once again, elimination. This will start immediately out of the neutral. Smaller field here for the B group, so it'll be a shorter race just by the nature of it all, but still will be a quick one. I imagine with a couple of our very speedy finishers in this group, this could be a very different looking race, potentially not quite as fast in the middle laps as we saw that last group being very quick in the middle of the race. This might be a bit more consistent tempo behind Steven Wilson's, who's starting this race off from the front. Whistle says the race can start. Elimination next lap. Next lap, elimination.
The Madison elimination riders, there should be 10 of you. You need to be ready. You will be up next. After that, the 4-up sprints. We're going to stage here by the podiums. We'll roll out very quickly. So 4-up sprints, those heats are posted. You should look at that. Okay, 4-up heats are posted online.
Velodrome.org/live has results, and now you can see your starting positions for the 4-up sprints. David Bryan in a tough spot here on this first lap. It will be 3:22, David Bryan to make his way out. You got to make it over the big hump first of getting through several eliminations before the points start coming. I think I mentioned a couple times, but the top 5 riders in each of these events will be earning points for themselves over the weekend. So you got to survive several rounds of elimination here and make it to the top before you get that important payout. .328, Ben Flom. 3:28. 2 juniors at the back of the field are going to have the long way to go. He's got the orange helmet on now, so it's a lot easier to spot him as the laser's got the, he's got the gear on the head now. So he'll start to move his way up as his name is called. At the front of the field, though, is still Steven Wilson's. No surprise that he likes that position. A rider with really good endurance and consistent tempo being a strength of his. He's going to just set the pace for the rest of this field. Snowby, another rider with lots of watts to give, lots of speed and over time. 31 on that lap, Mike Darlene. I was just talking about Snowblin. As we call his name, he says, yeah, you're right. I should be at the front. I know how to do this. So he's going to go ahead and position himself up along Steven Wilson's, and both of them will re-accelerate things a little bit. Steven does not want to lose the front, so he'll even put in more power to say, this is my spot and I want it. Get on my wheel. Back of the field is still 2 juniors. Kelly Darlene with the longest way to go. She's making a run at it. 3:03 is Snowblin. Repositioned and then found almost immediately after that. A lot of mobility in this group as riders coming forward and back in the middle of this race, but all still sitting on that consistent pace as given by Steven Wilson's. Look for both Kaiser and Pratis to be playing that role of the devil here, as they're going to have to if they want to stay another lap. Carl Pratis has got to find a place to be, though. He won't find it. 3:04 found on that lap. So Henry is going to be the one to watch if you want to watch a rider that's going to come around the outside each time as he continues to position himself at almost the last wheel or two, and then he'll make the effort around turns 3 and 4 to be back up again, and then he'll fall back to recover and then speed back up every single lap, and he's doing that again here. That looks to be Alex Siegel out there, who's got to do the same thing. He'll also be able to accelerate. Number 27, the rider in white, coming near the rail. He's got plenty of speed to hold on another lap, it looks like. 1:01 is Kelly Darlene, caught that lap. 6 riders to eliminate, 5 before the bell's ringing, as we work our way down all the way to the last rider to find the victor in this race. It's still Siegel and Kaiser that make up the back of the race. I've also got Austin Hilspreth back there, who's going to have to sprint here pretty soon. The rider in blue is trying to find room moving to the right, but he's got Alex Siegel right there. Can he find some room? Oh, man. Looking for a space. Not able to find it as Austin Hillspread found it. Did not find the room he needed. Hildreth caught on the lap. Stephen Wilson still drives the pace. Kit Colbert's right with him. That's also Chris Wilson, the third rider in the group. I haven't had to call his name as he's been smart and right in the middle of the front of this field. David Mullen still in the race for Hagens Berman, number 323, although he's going to have to sprint here and looking for room. It's going to be tight again. The junior's doing what he needs to do. Siegel as well. 323 without room to maneuver is caught. 323 is Mullen. So I talked about Kaiser and Siegel several laps ago. Oh, Siegel's giving up the chase here. All right, so we have an early volunteer behind you here. So Siegel is going to come out eventually. He will still find a point for his effort tonight, so maybe that was all he needed was the 1 point. That's good for me. He'll make his way off. 4 riders on the back straight. We're getting down to it. Every rider now earns some points, so this is where it really pays off. Chris Wilson in the green alongside Stephen Wilson's in the blue make the front of the race. Look out for the laser to accelerate here, and that's going to leave Kit Colbert in a really bad spot. Will he have enough speed to hold on? It's Kit Colbert versus Henry Kaiser at the back. Yeah, not quite enough. 3-3-4 in the toughest spot, not quite able to get there. He'll find his way off for 2 points in the race. Chris Wilson says, I don't want to stick around for the kid to sprint me. I'm going to keep it fast. So he'll get moving. Stephen Wilson's having to respond and get himself up there as well. He'll bring with him the kid now, Henry Kaiser, on the wheel. Chris Wilson looks like he's safe this lap. It's going to be Wilson's versus Kaiser at the back now. Wilson's and Kaiser, who holds on for another lap. The bell's ringing. It's 1 to go. Who's going to hold on for another lap? Looks like Wilson's he's going to be called this time. Number 25 is brought out of the race. He finds 3 points, and now the sprint's on. Henry Kaiser, the laser.
Madison,
he's got his target.
Elimination. You should be staging. Madison Elimination, staging.
Chris Wilson has got to stay on his pace now, otherwise he's going to be found out by the orange helmet. It's going to come down to 2 riders here for the top points, 7 and 5 at the line. Who's it going to be? Chris Wilson. He's trying to hold off the charge. The kid's still accelerating. He's still been in this race this long time. Can he get there? Chris Wilson's so strong. He won't let him catch him. Number 39 with a nice race. Whoa. He posed the question and couldn't be answered. Madison riders, your elimination race.
D group riders, you're going to meet me by the podiums with bikes. D group riders, get ready for your sprints. D group riders here by the podiums with bikes.
All right, you may notice that these riders are without their teammates. That's because for the Madison in this program, we decided it'd be kind of fun to have one rider, the endurance rider, and the other one, the sprinter. So these are the endurance riders. This is the longer distance ride of the two that they have to choose between. So these riders are going to be racing the elimination. Their teammate will be racing in the sprints to represent their team. Once again, it's elimination. You've seen it already a couple times. We'll start them at turn 4. It looks like they're all together. Should be getting the whistle. There it is. Elimination next lap. There's the bell to remind you. Next lap, we will pull one rider from the race. The teams earn points together here, so their teammate is on the infield cheering them on as well. As the longer their teammate stays in, the more points they get. Their teammate will be competing in a 4-up sprint event that will be happening soon. Riders can check where you start in that by going to velodrome.org/live. I probably should head there too soon. I need to figure out what's going on. Our first elimination here. 34 is Haldeman. He thought he might have had the room he needed, not quite able to squeeze it out. All right, we get our eyes now. Looks like the blue team, 2 blue teams side by side out here will be trying to stay in another lap. They'll have to make the big move. Nick Martinez for the yellow team that set the pace. Number 5, the dark blue team, that looks to be Mike Ritter, found that lap. Still, Nick Martinez for that yellow team has been the one to set the pace and hold things nice and steady here. Who will be at the back? Whoa! Number 2, just by a bit there, it's going to be Vern Cole, number 2 for the orange team, and that was awfully close, as I think that was Robson who had to kind of find his way as he nudged in just with enough room. That's that light blue color team with the white helmet. Here comes another elimination. Oh, the red team's in a tough spot. Number 1 is Kelly Please for the red team on the inside. Nowhere to go. She did as good as she could with that position, but the teams around the right, they took it from her. Halfway through this thing, 5 more riders are going to be found out here. 4 more before the bells ringing. We're not yet into the points for these teams. The light blue team looks on. The team of Andrew Martin and Mike Robson here represented. He's at the back of this. Can he make it another lap? He's making a good acceleration for it. The white team. Ooh, can he find enough room? Number 10 on the inside is found that time. The white team, that's Carl Hofer riding with Brett Walker, found that lap. 5 remain. Here comes the points. Team yellow still driving the pace. Dark green, nice and consistent as well. The pink team out there, that's Matty Hers in the 3rd wheel spot. Kenny Williams for Stars and Stripes also in this one. He's trying to hold on for another lap. A big sprint coming. Oh, man. 99, which is Kenny Williams. As they spread out across the track, he will find a point for the Stars and Stripes team. The next elimination worth 2. Matty Hers positions himself at the back, and now he will use the right part of the track to accelerate and find his way towards the front. As Martinez, I am expecting, will have the hardest lap he's had yet, as the riders are going to swing out and try to accelerate around him. Oh, man. 1 rider without a lot of room here in the back. The light blue team still fighting. It's going to be Martinez, though, caught out, I think. Number 6, Martinez, called officially. And with his exit, the race slows down. He was the one doing a lot of the pace setting. The other riders are out here now doing a match sprint. The dark green team, Brando, the Mando for Found Cycling, is looking around, saying, okay, who's going to make the next move? He has to make the move from the front now, as riders again are going to spread out across the track. 3 riders left. Here's the belts, 1 to go, and the light blue team is going to have to give up the chase. It's now down to the green team and the pink team. Our top finishing positions here will be coming to the line. Still our dark green team on the lead. Now it's going to be up to speed. Matty Hers, the rider from the pink, has the good spot of being on the wheel. Can he get there in time? He's got to accelerate awfully quickly. Oh, he already thinks he can't do it. He's starting to give up the chase. I called him Brando, and it's actually going to be Richter out there who's riding for his team. We'll see Brando in the sprint tournament. So Richter, the Rocket, picks up the big victory. Matty Hers for the pink team still finds 5 points. That'll feel good for that squad as well. All right, I haven't had a moment to even stop and breathe and think. We're into the 4-up sprints, and we have heats. Thank you for the first heats being ready. We got Heat A coming out of Pat Murray, Alicia Stats, Heather Nielsen, and Emily Alexander. Heat B, Megan Henry, Lucy Clymer-Kennedy, Annette Williams, Kelly Darlene. Heat C, Rue Tomko, Lucy Gilchrist, Leah Hulslander, and Kat McGee. All right. If you're not getting whiplash from the race formats yet, I know I am. There's a lot going on here, and we're now into a sprint ride. So this is a 2-lap event, much like the wheel race, except only 4 riders on the track. This is going to be slow and fast. Just be ready for that. Each of these races is going to have a phase in which it's slow, which is the first half, and then fast, which is the second half. The riders are going to play, most of the time, the riders will want to go slow through the first lap, and then they're going to be accelerating up to top speed somewhere around the time that the bell's ringing or shortly after it. Looks like Emily Alexander, though, doesn't like that race idea. She's actually coming out here thinking, let's go fast early. So she's picking up the pace before the bell's ringing. The sprint underway as it's 1 to go. What's neat about the sprint is that every ride is awarded points. So in this case, the winner gets 7, second place gets 5, third place gets 3, and fourth place gets 2. So this is going to matter for every single ride, and every single position will count towards their finishing numbers. And here comes now the big move, as it looks like coming from the back of the field. Heather Nielsen making her move to the front. Alicia Stotts trying to challenge for the win. It'll be Nielsen. Alicia Stotts, I think, finds second. Heat B to the rail.
C group sprints. Heat A and B. That's Parsons, Pyle, and Grinzel. And then Turk, Douglas, and Stats. You need to be here by the podiums with me.
All right, the whistle says racing's underway, and it's going to be, again, slow and then fast, the way that this type of race is run. So a 2-lap event with these 4 riders. Every rider will get points in this thing. 7 to the first rider. At the front of the field, that's Megan Henry for the Found Cycling team. Waiting for someone else to come around her. 2 of the very speedy finishers in here will make this interesting, both wearing in some blue. We've got both Annette Williams and Kelly Darlene in the same group here. Williams, now the second rider. She's behind the rider in green, and right behind her is Kelly Darlene. At the back of the group now is Clymer Kennedy, as they'll line themselves up along the rail so everybody at the beverage garden gets a nice view and can cheer on the riders as they come on by. Pick your favorite, give some noise. They're going to be getting the bell. Who's going to find the win here in the sprint? 1 to go. What happened? Did we run out of beverages over there, folks? I couldn't hear you. Go get another round, darn it. All right, the sprint is not underway. Down on the back straight, we're looking for the riders to get up to speed. There goes Annette Williams down into the sprinter's lane. She'll make her way down. Kelly Darlene loves to be in the second wheel position. She doesn't usually get to be here. Can she get up to that wheel? She's on her way, but it's awfully hard to catch on to the speedster. That's Annette Williams. Williams cruising in for 7. Darlene on pace for 5 in this sprint. First and second place there. All right, our final heat now to the rail. This is the C heat for the D group. Heat A for C group. David Parsons, JC Pyle, Scott Grinsell are on deck. Behind them, Wilson Turk, Stan Douglas, and Colin Stotts. We'd also like to see Merrick Gallagher, Jason Fuller, Tyler Alnoldi, and Brandon Confer. That's Heat C. Over to the podiums. Off we go. 2 laps again, and our riders going to gather themselves up here. It looks like behind Rue's wheel, as they'll be at the lead of the field. All right, so we're getting things up. It still looks like our riders kind of gathering up around Rue at the moment. Lucy Gilchrist and Leah Holzlander out there are 2 other younger riders that joined on this one, along with Kat McGee, the rider in yellow. Everybody trying to get more points. Rue's off to a good start. They picked up 7 in the first race, and see if they can get some more here. 2:11, Kat McGee hears the bell and is now on the sprint. 7 points to win this thing. Lucy Gilchrist is matching pace very well. Can she come around the top? Rue also pursuing. Awfully close to catching. It's still going to be Kat at the front. Lucy's trying to move around to the right. It doesn't have the speed to do so. She has to stay in the slipstream. There she goes. Can she make it up around the top? It's going to be these 2 now coming on the home straight. It's Lucy Gilchrist, Kat McGee. Whoa, here they come. Whoa, the grit. Good sprint for, I think Lucy Gilchrist might have just barely gotten it. Nicely done. This now is the C group, and we've got lots of heats to go through. Our first heat coming up is David Parsons, JC Pyle, Scott Grinsell. On deck is Heat B, Wilson Turk, Stan Douglas, Colin Stotts, followed by Merrick Gallagher, Jason Fuller, Tyler Arnoldi, Brendan Confer. We're also looking for David Gilchrist, Jacob Luna, Parker Stanford, Nathaniel Clark. That's Heat D. On the track now, David Parsons for Taco Time is the rider in the green, right in the middle of the field. In front of him is JC Pyle, another one of our junior competitors. And again for Dyna Racing, it's Mr. G, Scott Grinzel. As you can see, I mentioned before these races started, slow and fast is the story of the sprints. As riders, here the idea is timing and your ability to come up to top speed. It can be very advantageous for riders with a quick finish to try to use that top speed almost as a surprise element.
Jacob and Nathaniel, come here.
And if you can surprise your opponents before they can catch on that you're doing the move, that can really make the difference. So going slow gives you the opportunity to have that sort of twitch reaction where you jump up to top speed. And nobody wants to sprint for 2 laps. So there's that too. 800-meter sprint, no thank you. JC finds himself at the front, kind of waiting for a move to happen. He's looking over the shoulder, saying who's going to go. David Parsons keeping close watch as well. There's the bell. They're going to take this one right through turn 1, still without acceleration. Not uncommon in the sprint. The other thing you'll notice too is if they turn their wheels to the left, they're going to accelerate an awful lot with the bank. So they're using the height of the hill here to help them when it's time to get up to speed. You'll see a lot of these sprint specialists will use that space along the rail before turning down into the sprint lane, just like this move here from Mr. G. He takes the front spot. Unsurprisingly, I think finds his way towards the front, but now can the kid get up there as both, it's David Parsons also making a run at him, but Mr. G looks like he might be able to get away with this one. Scott Grinzel will pick up the win in this heat. David Parsons and JC Pyle sprinting all the way. Nice work. Parsons will barely get that one. A good sprint between those two. Heat B is coming out as Wilson Turk, Stan Douglas, Colin Stats on deck. Merrick Gallagher, Jason Fuller, Tyler Arnoldi, Brendan Confer in Heat C. Heat D, David Gilchrist, Jacob Luna, Parker Stanford, and Nathaniel Clark will be looking for Sam Frigo, Joseph Deck, Ken Dong, Peter Gilchrist in Heat E. Wilson Turk in the dark blue. He's got the WSU kit on right behind him. In the lighter blue, number 420 is Stan Douglas. We also got Colin Stotts out there. Currently riding in the junior kit, the black and blue. And just by the way that we built this format, oftentimes if you're here on a Friday night, you know that the categories are based on experience, speed, and ability. So these fields are similar. So as you go through this sprint format, you will notice that the top speed will likely be increasing as we work our way towards the B group and then eventually into the Madisons. So this will be fun tonight to watch some really quick sprinters, as well as we've got some experienced, very fast riders that'll be coming out tonight. Don't want to miss the upcoming heats as we work our way through. The C group, our largest group, with several heats. We're just into our second heat now. Wilson Turk happy to lead things out, but not yet up to speed, obviously, as the bell's just now ringing. Colin Stotts looking like he's got a good position there right in the middle of the track. Stanley Douglas watching him closely. I think out of the three, the pure sprinter would be Stanley. He's going to have to be in a good spot now, though, as Colin Stotts is no slouch when it comes to top speed, too. He'll take the move from the front. Stanley Douglas is forced to respond, and he does so quickly, and this is what I'm talking about in terms of true speed and power. I think that might be his advantage, and he'll put it to show now. Stanley Douglas looking strong here to pick up the victory in his heat. Douglas, Stotts, and then Turk. Heat C up to the rail. Heat D is coming up over into the podium. Should be ready to go. Heat D is Gilchrist, Luna, Stanford, Clark. We're also looking for Heat E, Sam Frigo, Joseph Deck, Ken Dong, and Peter Gilchrist. This is a very early move here in the heat as it's just now getting underway. Mayor Gallagher says, I don't think I can sprint against these guys. I'm just going to go for the 800-meter effort. So unusual, but this could work pretty well. Mayor Gallagher out in front, one of the younger riders out here in this group, and certainly in this heat, the youngest competitor, getting some help from turn 1. Tyler Arnoldi, though, he's got his mission now to go catch, and he's on his way. He brings with him Found Cycling as well, so 2 riders catching Gallagher. That was a great move to make. Arnoldi happy to catch, and now it's 2 up to still sprint for this one. Brendan Confer, Tyler Arnoldi. Ooh, man. Okay. Arnoldi, Confer will go 1 and 2. Gallagher with a great move. Didn't quite pay off for the win, but that was one way to race the race, and an exciting choice for sure. Easy to support that one. Heat D is Gilchrist, Luna, Stanford, and Clark coming on the track now. Sam Frigo, Joseph Deck, Ken Dong, Peter Gilchrist on deck. Followed by Heat F, the final heat. Spranger, Flaum, Wainwright, Seahorn.
I'm gonna need the last heat. Joe, Ben, Gene, and Brett. Brett's not racing. Joe, Ben, and Gene, you need to be by Ben.
Off we go again. Round and round we go, folks. Heat D is on the track now. David Gilchrist, Jacob Luna out there. David Gilchrist, the rider with the multicolored kit. He's right in the middle, 499. Jacob Luna is 416. He's got the black helmet on, currently at the back of that group. And I got Nathaniel Clark out there for Apex Racing. He's at the front, number 456. Whoa, the big move from way downtown. He's got a long ways to go. Jacob Luna says, hey, Merrick Gallagher, good idea. These crazy kids. This is coach's fault. This is nuts. Jacob Luna making an early attack. This might be the way to go win. Bell's ringing for Jacob. He's all in on this one. All the chips are out on the table now. 456 is in pursuit, but he's got a long ways to go. He's looking for some help from David Gilchrist. He says, can we go catch this guy together? I need some help. Jacob Luna is still on the lead and looking like he might be uncatchable here. A nice move from the kid. He's gone 600 meters at this pace, and he's not going to get caught. The junior with a great move early. Smart racing. The sprint is on for second, though, as it'll be Gilchrist going head-to-head here. Apex Racing will find it as 456 comes around the outside. We'll give that to Nathaniel Clark. Heat E, Sam Frigo, Joseph Deck, Ken Dong, Peter Gilchrist coming up now. Joe Spranger, Ben Flaum, Gene Wainwright, and Brett Seahorn on deck. From the B group, Heat A, Stephen Wilsons, Peter Snoblin, Mike Darlene, and Ben Flaum. That's going to be tough. Frigo, Deck, Dong, Gilchrist, 4. All right, off we go. Another 4-up sprint on the track. Our second to last for the C group. Sam Frigo is the rider at the front, and the blue kind of committed to lead this thing, so he'll start it off. Joseph Deck, rider in black with the white helmet. Ken Dong's got the pink for Dyna Racing. Peter Gilchrist has got the white helmet and the black and blue for the January Baker Juniors team. We've got one more heat coming up for the C group. Then we'll work our way into the B group, which has fewer heats. Should be fun to get through those as well. Then we'll get into the Madison group. Ken Dong finds himself guarding the front now as he'll crawl his way to the front. Everyone not wanting to get up to speed yet. Sprinters know you got to save your effort for the right moment. They saw what Jacob Luna did a moment ago, though, and that's reminding everybody, if you go the distance, it can work. So everybody's being cautious of that particular move. At 1 to go. Everyone's staying together, starting to roll things up to corner 1 now. Aggressive positioning between Two sprinters at the front there, Joseph Deck and Ken Dong. Ken still now finding himself at the blue line, just waiting for somebody to make the jump. He does not want to be at the lead if he doesn't have to, but if he's close enough, he'll do it. Starting up the speed now. The rest of the field watching him. There's the big dive. He's up and out of the saddle. He considers himself a sprinter, and he's got a good turn of speed for sure. Sam Frigo is a speedy guy coming out from the turn, though. Sam Frigo accelerates quickly for the victory. Ken Dong will take 5 points in that one as well. And that is a mechanical. That's what it looks like when you lose your chain and don't have brakes on a track bike. So we'll watch and make sure Peter's safe before we start anything, since he's got to kind of roll down to a start. A stop. And then we'll get ready for the next group. On deck is the first heat for Group B. Stephen Wilsons, Peter Snoblin, Mike Darlene, Ben Flom. On deck, Heat B, Kit Colbert, Kelly Darlene, Chris Wilson.
And then can I have Kit, Kelly, and Chris be in staging?
This group of three is Ben Flom at the front for Fell Swoop. In the middle is Joe Spranger. You saw a lot of him from the previous couple of races, especially in that elimination. And then you got Gene Wainwright in the mix as well, who made it, I believe, into the top 6, maybe the top 5 in that elimination. So some fast riders here in this group. We'll see how they do in this sprint format. Ben Flom still at the front as they ride the rail, waiting for the move to the left. Spranger sitting right in the middle, as high as he can along that railing. When you're up at the front like Ben is, he's going to keep his eyes mostly to the left, as he knows that's where the attack will come from, and he's not going to make a move earlier than he has to. There's some room on his other side. He gives the rail, and Joe was going to use that to try to surprise him. He moves into the front, and Joe's got some serious power today, so from the 400-meter distance, he can win this race. Ben Flom also with plenty of power to give. Look at his acceleration now down the back straight. Fell Swoop with lots here still to give on the track. He's making his move at Joe, and whoa, here he comes. Slingshotting around the top, and in comes Ben Flom for 7. Joe Spranger putting on a nice show, though, and a real good run at it on the home straight. Didn't quite get it done for the victory, but a good race from him as well. B group, Heat A. Stephen Wilsons, Peter Snoblin, Mike Darlene, Ben Flom. On deck, Heat B. Relegation to Joe Spranger in the previous race for contacting a rider, coming down in contact with the rider. An official relegation to Joe Spranger in the previous race. All right, and if you're curious what that means, that does mean that his finishing place is moved to the back of that sprint. So unfortunately for a rule broken, a little too egregious, he gets a relegation. That comes from our officials team who are out here making sure that racing is safe at the Velodrome. You may have noticed that despite the speed and all the crazy stuff happening, racing is a pretty safe thing here at the Velodrome if you come here week to week. So our thanks to our officials team for partnering with us to make this such a great place to race. Currently, we've got 4 riders out here in our first heat for the B group. Stephen Wilsons is the second rider now in the group, as Peter Snoblin has taken the front for Aerotech Racing in the white. Mike Darlene is the third rider, number 31 in the dark blue. And there's Ben Flom again, who just won the previous race. I wouldn't count him out, but gosh, that's hard. 1 to go. On deck is Kit Colbert, Kelly Darlene, Chris Wilson. We're also looking for Austin Hildreth, Alex Siegel, and Henry Kaiser for Heat C. The bell's ringing, and now Snoblin's waiting for something to happen. It's going to be Stephen Wilson's that'll happen next. He'll make the big move over the top, and he's going to lead this thing out down the back straight, forcing Darlene to try to hold onto his wheel. Not that it'll do so, so it'll be Stephen Wilson's race to win at this point. Mike Darlene still making some acceleration at it. Wilson's holding on to the front. It'll be Wilson's, Darlene, Snoblin, and Flom. That is not a good amount of rest time for Ben Flom. That's what you get for double dipping, though, I guess. Get your efforts in on a night. Good for him. Coming out now is Heat B. Kit Colbert, Kelly Darlene, Chris Wilson. On deck, Heat C, Austin Hildreth, Alex Siegel, Henry Kaiser. Hey, if you're out there on the stream and enjoying yourself and interacting, I apologize. I have been way too busy to check if you're out there and leaving us comments. Thank you for being supportive, giving us a thumbs up, a subscription, or leaving a comment for the riders. They'll be able to see it when they go back and rewatch racing later. We appreciate you being a part of the community, whether you're here in person or online.
David, Mullen, and Brian, I need you over here.
On deck is Hildreth, Siegel, and Kaiser. Up next, Heat D, Carl Pratis, David Mullen, David Bryan. They're followed by Heat nothing. A blank Heat E. The rider in the dark green on the back is Chris Wilson with the white helmet. We saw a lot from him in that elimination, our winner of that previous race for this group. A lot of endurance for that rider. He's going to try to put it together here in a sprint matchup. Kit Colbert also showing a lot of endurance ability in the elimination race. And then Kelly Darlene, also known for her endurance abilities. Let's see how they try to race this now that they're forced to sprint. Bells ringing. Top speed, the name of the game. Chris Wilson brought it to pace pretty early now. They're already about 75% of the way there. Here comes the real big acceleration from Chris. He's up and out of the saddle and bringing all the riders down to the sprinters lane. He will try to just ride this thing up from the front, which I think he has dialed in right now as he makes his move down the back straight. He's putting on a good show here for us, as it's going to be awfully tough for anybody to find that wheel. Chris Wilson looking quick tonight. Darlene chasing. It's going to be Colbert and Darlene to close it out. Chris Wilson will take this heat. Heat B up to the rail. Heat C should be ready to go. Austin Hildreth, Alex Siegel, Henry Kaiser. Carl Pratis, David Mullen, and David Bryan make up the final heat for Heat D. In the Madisons, the first heat is Nolan Adams, Andrew Karlberg, and David Richter. Number 27, committed to take the front unless taken from him, which is what's happening right here. Alex Siegel, as Austin Hildreth comes up to the front to take it for a moment, number 320. And the orange helmet of the lasers in this one, that's Henry Kaiser.
So Madison teams, just figure out your sprinter and send them up here. Madison sprinters, come up here. We'll figure out who's racing what.
I have the list. Do you want me to announce it again? Because I have... No? Okay. Okay. I will not announce them. Alex Siegel at the lead of the field right now still as he looks over his right shoulder. Again, I think he would style himself a sprinter and wants to demonstrate his strength here in this group. Kaiser was showing earlier that his top speed is nothing to be sniffed at. And the same with Rider 320. Austin's got lots of speed to put on show as well. This is a good matched group. Siegel potentially with the highest top speed out of the group, but tactics will play a part here. He is guarding the front. Looks one way, then he looks the other. The orange laser helmet makes the first move. Alex Siegel is okay with that. He's going to try to accelerate and find his way to that wheel. If he does so, he has the advantage. There you see it down the back straight, and here comes the slingshot from Siegel, putting on the pure power in the spin. Up and away goes Siegel. Now he'll find himself coming out of the turn first. He's making sure he's got the lead. And it'll be Siegel, Kaiser going 1 and 2 on that one. Nice. All right, our final group here to come on out for our second to last group. My mistake. Nope, this is the last group. Carl Pratis, David Mullen, David Bryan. Here we go. I got it figured out. I'm telling you guys, they're working me hard tonight. There's a lot going on. Carl Pratis, the rider 304 at the front. David Mullen in the middle, 323, and David Bryan at the back end, 322. So I guess we get to wait and see. This will be a fun surprise with the Madison matchups. I think they figured out what's supposed to happen. Oh, of course, in the first heat, Richter was listed, but that would be the same rider riding twice. So there's Brandon to step in for him. That makes sense. Yeah, I see him now. We're good. You guys got it all figured out. In turn 3, our race that's now underway, still going at the slow tempo right above the blue line, as Carl Pratis is going to wait as long as he has to come up to speed. Competing at Nationals, 15, 16-year-old junior, third place at our national competition is Carl Pratis, so he's got some recent track record and hardware to support. He's a speedster at this event for his age group. He's got good competition here tonight, as both of the Davids behind him have plenty of speed to challenge him tonight, so he's going to be very defensive as he continues to wait for the move underneath. He wants to take the wheel if somebody else goes first. If he can respond quickly, that's his play. If the track gets short enough, he'll just take the sprint now as he continues to wait for the move. And there comes David Mullen down into the sprinter's lane. David Bryan finds himself at the back. Carl Pratis in the middle. Carl Pratis, the junior, now having to make the re-acceleration. David Mullins from the front, looking like he's very strong. Can he hold on here as Carl Pratis also has plenty of acceleration? It's going to be up and close. Here they come to the finish line. Whoa! Carl Pratis with enough to make the run at it. By a bike. Madison, Heat A. Looks like we've got Carlberg, Adams, and Brando the Mando. It is now. I upgraded it. What do you want it to be, Nolan? Poll the fans. All right, we'll start a poll. You heard it here, folks. How about, I don't know how we'll figure out how to run this poll. If the MVA would be so supportive, you know, we could do the largest donation. If Beth's out there, to give him his nickname. Don't do it. I think he would probably not like that. So Carlberg out there is at the lead spot. In terms of pure sprinting ability, he definitely has earned a reputation in the local community for his top speed. So keep your eyes on him for what he can put out in a short distance race. Nolan Adams right behind him. Brando is the third rider in the lineup as the bell's ringing. Andrew's going to make it as slow as he can for as long as possible here. But as soon as he's ready to unload from the front, it will be a dangerous race for the other two if they're going to let him do that. Track distance is it's looking like it's getting pretty short here. And the big sprint coming down the back straight. Brandon's making a good run at it as Brandon Russell's getting up and out of the saddle, trying to get alongside Carlberg. But Carlberg, again, in the 200 meter is very hard to beat. Oh, Carlberg coming around the corner. Yes, it will be the rider in yellow. Brandon Russell trying to make his run at it, not able to get there in time. Brett Walker for the white team, the front. Then we got, if I'm not mistaken out there, we've got Andrew Martin in the light blue at the back of the group. I believe Ryan Meinhardt is the third rider in the group in the middle in the dark blue, making up our crew of three.
Group D, you're going to be up in just a couple minutes. So Group D, you should be rolling in the warm-up circle. Group D, I'm looking at you over there lounging. You should be in the warm-up circle.
Oof. Shots fired. All right, so along the rail, our current group moving as slow as they reasonably can. Again, this is not a poor tactical move. And many, if you are privy to watching in national or even international level competition in match sprints where you have two riders going head-to-head, you will see a lot of very slow riding as the riders try to force position and play a little bit of tactical chess with one another. The front spot, you think it's close to the line, but providing a draft for your opponent is disadvantageous. So being at the front can be very challenging depending on how the race plays out. Nice and slow here at 1 to go. Still behind Martin's wheel now. Andrew Martin slowly bringing things up, but he's not going to make any jumps as he's just in the ready position. Meinhardt makes the first dive, and it's a quick one. Now the response has to come from the two riders behind him. This was a really good move from Meinhardt. He might have just dropped the rest of the riders. What a quick acceleration he has. Whoa. Talk about the jump and the top speed here. Meinhardt was ready to open this one up. 7 points for Meinhardt, 5 for Andrew Martin and the light blue team. 4-up group here as I see Eric Waterman for the orange-ish team coming up. National colors got Andy Baker. David Branson in the red squad is going to be third in the lineup. And it looks like the single malt Velo team, it's going to be Bobby Walthor out there riding for the team in the black, pink, and blue. Points for every rider that's out here for their team. It's going to be 7, 5, 3, and 2, how they come across the line. So every position counts. But of course, you're going to be aiming for that big 7. That's more than a single points race sprint. So you're going to want to pick those up where you can. As a reminder, all these points tonight are added up over this weekend. So if you're enjoying this race, we're getting pretty close to the end. We got one more series of races, a bunch of scratch races. Longer race for the night, by the way, some longer distances. But that'll be our ending race for tonight's program. We will pick back up with more racing. Session 2 tomorrow at 1 o'clock. We'll see how these riders finish up, and I'll be paying more attention to the overall omniums as we get there. Bells ring, and David Branson finds himself to the front. Eric Waterman's got the wheel. Andy Baker third in the group now. There goes Eric Waterman up and out of the saddle. Andy Baker also making his move. Down the back straight, it'll be Baker to take the front now. It's going to be Bobby trying to counter and hold on to his wheel. Bobby coming up onto the wheel. It might be two riders coming out of the turn at the front. It's still going to be Baker leading things out. Here comes Bobby on the acceleration. Baker on the inside. Bobby on the outside. Baker on the inside. He'll hold on. Bobby's making a good run on it, just not quite enough to finish. But Andy Baker with a nice move to hold on for the win in the heat.
D group, you're to the rail for your scratch race. Oh yeah, Corey.
That's me.
There's a $50 preem in each scratch race. Plus, so the Madison, though, has... Oh, you got them already. I don't know. At $50. We got some cash in these scratch races here.
There'll be one bell from the announcer for a $50 cash preem during the race for the D group. Remember, money can't buy you the bragging rights of winning a race. But it is $50. But the contrary argument to that is that winning can't buy you things. So there you go. All right. Scratch racing. I don't have to give as much explanation on this. If you've been out on a Friday night, you already know scratch races are our simplest race format. Riders will go out for the number of laps posted on the schedule. There will be a bell at 1 to go, and then riders at that point know it's the final lap. Riders come across the line in their finishing order at the end of the race. It's a race with a finish line. Pretty straightforward. No points along the way. The one thing we get to throw in here to mix things up is a preem. I get to ring the bell from up here. That'll let the riders know that on the next lap there's a special lap prize. In this case, we got a big payout of $50 to lead the lap at an unknown point in the race. Only I get to have that information until the bell is ringing. C group is on deck. This is an 8-lap scratch, so it's not going to be too long. You'll want to be ready here pretty soon. Racing underway. 8 laps to go in the scratch for the D group. Looking at as he come into this race, it's interesting to see where the omniums are. This is, I believe, as close to official as I can get as I'm looking at the official results for the omnium as it stands right now. I see 14 points to number 102, Annette Williams. She's in the Stars and Stripes in this race. She leads overall in the omnium tonight so far. This goes into tomorrow, so we'll keep our eyes on this as we go into our second session. 12 points to Lucy Gilchrist, number 222, in second place. And in third is Kelly Darlene, number 101, with 10. Rue Tomko with 9, sitting in fourth. couple riders with 7 after that, then one rider with 6, a rider with 5, and it goes down from there. Six laps remain. Kelly Darlene at the front of the race right now. Mentioned her as now 3rd overall in the Omnium with 10. This race is also awarded points at the front for finishing well in this competition. 7.532 and I believe 7.532 to finish this one. And 1 for the 5th place rider. In our first ever Carnival, we hope you're enjoying yourself here tonight. How about we make things more fun with $50 to lead the lap at 5 to go. $50 to lead the lap. $50 to lead the lap. Big 5-0. Let's get the payouts going. The cash rolling and flowing for the riders. Why not? I got to put on the eagle eyes. I think that's Leah Hulslander, if I'm not mistaken, taking the big sprint out of the field. She says that's several days worth of chores, all in one sprint. Let's get it now. And Leah still on her way. She's going to get challenged. Can she get the big payout? Whoa. Oh, Leah, 205. Looks like she found it. The official's given a head nod. I think that's the confirmation. I can go and write her name down on the $50.
C Group, you are up in 3 laps. C Group, you're up in 3 laps. Be ready to roll.
3 to go for the D Group. That's Megan up the front, 218. Also for the Found Cycling team, she's got one of her buddies right behind her. Driving the pace now after the big sprint for 50. They know there's nothing else to go for except for the win, so now they're setting themselves up. As they do this, the field getting spread out a little bit as riders trying to hold on to the quick pace of the front. Leah's getting some encouragement from the home crowd, like, nice work. You picked the right one to go for. Two to go. Watch for the positioning in the next couple laps now, as riders are going to need to be near the front of this thing. Watch for 102, 101. I also saw a lot of speed from 121 earlier tonight. See where she puts herself. Lots of things to watch for. All of those riders sit up to the top, letting some of the other riders that have just recently caught back on underneath. And they'll keep on their pedals for now. This will bunch up on the back straight. The Stars and Stripes, our current leader in the Omnium. She's positioned herself near the front and right in the middle. She's going to try to find her lane to come up to the front of this race, or at least find a wheel to get on. Kelly Darlene also in there, currently 3rd in the Omnium, trying to find a good spot. Lucy Gilchrist, 222, 2nd in the Omnium, right in the middle as well. Looks to be on her teammate's wheel now. It's bunched up as the bell's ringing. Riders got to find their lane. Megan's down there in the sprinter's lane. Number 218 will lead this thing from the front. Annette Williams finding her opening, moves to the right, and is now going to find the front of the group quickly as she's able to accelerate right up to the front position. Annette Williams coming out to win the scratch race. Looks like Pat Murray, the one for is 121 for 2nd place. Megan, 218. Picks up a nice 3rd place finish there in the scratch race. A couple more riders finishing. She says, winning, schminning, I got the 50. Nodding her head. Yep.
C Group, you can go to the rail. C Group to the rail.
That's a relegation. Kat McGee, number 211 in the previous race, for exiting the sprinter's lane while the sprint was engaged. That's a relegation to number 211, McGee, from the officials for exiting the sprinter's lane while the sprint was engaged. Our next group coming up to the rail now, we've got the C Group for the scratch. $50 on one of the laps. Once again, it'll come from the bell I ring up here on 1 lap during the race. Once again, we'll start out the neutral. If they're all together, riders, we have a $50 premium on 1 lap. Best of luck to you on this fantastic 12-lap scratch race. Racing underway, 12 to go. Tyler Arnoldi on the front of the race. Things move along quickly here. At 10 to go, 2 laps completed. Arnoldi doing a lot of the work to try to encourage the field up to speed early on. We saw Sam Frigo in the sprints with a lot of speed. He's the rider who was temporarily at the front, now pulling up and out of the way. Both Joe Spranger and Stanley Douglas find themselves at the front of the group, seeing 9 to go. Looking at the Omnium right now, I believe the lead is Sam Frigo with 14. That's number 455. He's trailing or leading by just a single point over Scott Grinsel with 13 and David Parsons with 12. As our early leaders in the overall Omnium. After that, I got 9 points to Tyler Arnoldi and 7 to Jacob Luna. So again, our leader right now in the points is 455. Where is he at right now? I'm looking for the blue. He's mid-pack, about 7 wheels back from the front of this effort right now. Blue and dark blue with the white helmet. So that's the rider currently in the overall lead in this group. They're going to be seeing 6 to go. And the kid seems to know something because I got it again at 5 to go. I got the 50 bucks to lead the lap. Once again, at the 5 to go, it's 50 bucks to lead the lap. Anybody want to go get Joe? He must have known something was up. In a good spot. Oh, man, he doesn't want the win. He wants the money. There goes Frigo, the current leader in the Omnium. Oh, boy, he knows he's got his name on this envelope. Here he comes. Joe Spranger wants it, and Sam Frigo wants it more today. $50 for the rider with the white helmet here. Ka-ching! All right, so Sam picking up the big 50. He finds himself back into the middle of the field at 2 to go. He still has his eyes set to win the race. Why not? He's currently leading the Omnium, so he'll try to find his way up there. Looking pretty quick here, 2 laps to go. Positioning going to be important as this is our largest field in the Carnival, and it's getting pretty stretched out now. Riders getting up to speed down the back straight. The sprint already begun engaged as the riders coming on the home straight. We're now beginning to bell. Yes, thank you for riding high. Here comes the field as the bell is ringing. 1 to go, 1 to go, 1 to go. Lots of riders starting to pick up the pace right down the middle of the back straight, looking to catch one rider off the front. I said their names a couple times already. It's the one that didn't get the 50. It's Joe Spranger trying to catch up there. He looks like he'll be coming up. Sam Frigo's on his wheel. The two will be going in a match sprint head-to-head coming around the turn. It's going to be Joe Spranger. Oh, he's got revenge on his mind. Not enough. Sam Frigo will take the win and the 50. Joe Spranger for second place. They got 3 for 1 on the inside for third. I think Grinsel for fourth.
B group, let's go. All right, this is the B group, and they are racing. Not really. This is a neutral lap. They will be racing shortly. 15-lap scratch race. There you go. Now they're racing 15 laps, just like we saw before. They will be one preem for $50 in this race somewhere. I guess I get to choose it. Oh man, I should probably choose that. We like to choose it ahead of time. That way it's not determined on what's going on in the race. We can't be that affected and lenient to the riders. So we got Peter Snowden at the front. And according to the spreadsheets, it looks like Chris Wilson and Carl Pratis are tied in first place with 14 points. So it looks like we have a tie for first place. Remember, these continue into tomorrow. And tomorrow ends with a points race where those points get added to their totals. The Madison group, actually racing a Madison, will be up next. First chance to see those hand slings and see what it's all about. We got Kelly Darlene at the front. Oh, and we have Annette in this race as well. She decided to do double dip here. So a couple of our ladies jumping in this B group. Okay, so back to our Omnium. We have Chris and Carl tied with 14. Looks like we have Henry and David Mullen tied with 10 points. With 9 points, Alex Siegel. 7 points, Mike Darlene. 6 points, David Bryan. Everyone has points. It's so fun. So in this race, there's going to be the top 5. They get points. Add those to their totals. Tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock, you can join us again. We will have a warm-up scratch again, a win and out, some sprints, and a points race. Change it up just a little bit. Spectator admission tomorrow is free. So if you want to come out and catch some more action, make sure to do that. The beer garden will be here tomorrow. I will have washed the cups, so we will have the awesome Stanley cups back. The moral of the story is that we drink a lot of beer and we keep running out of cups, which is a good problem to have. We will work on getting more. This group seems pretty content just pace lining around. No one's made a move yet. Maybe they're waiting for the preem. I said, I've decided the lap. Now they're just waiting. So that's Chris Wilson's on the front. He is one of our leaders, and our other leader, oddly enough, is at the back of the pack. So right now, our 2 leaders that are tied in points, one is at the front, one is at the back. They're coming around seeing 8 to go, and they're all like, when is that bell gonna be rung? I want the money. I hear ya. That's Mike Darlene at the front with Ben Flaum now on the front. He's been double dipping as well. And it's like they knew. $50 to lead the lap, $50 to lead the lap, $50 to lead the lap, $50. So we have Steven Wilson's and Siegel. Is that Kelly Darlene? It is. She's going to try to battle Siegel here. Oh, no, she says, never mind. There goes Alex Siegel flying off the front. Chris Wilson says, I want that, though. I don't know if he can close this gap, though. It's getting kind of close. Alex coming out of corner 4. In the lead, he says, sweet, $50, and he's probably going to exit the race, would be my guess. Oh, but Chris is using this. Woo! Look before you move up. Chris might use this to launch his attack. He knows that his rider he's tied with is a sprinter. So Chris says, let's go. I believe that's Steven and Henry in tow. And the pack is scrambling right now. They say, oh, these are three dangerous guys out here. This is Chris, Steven, and Henry that have separated themselves from the pack. All right, so once again, we have this group of three. It looks like someone's trying to bridge the gap. Is that Carl Pratis? Is that our co-leader? Oh, it looks like Carl's trying to make this gap. He says, I need those points. And for those of you that, I know this, because I'm the junior coach, but Carl is a straight-up sprinter. He just got third at nationals in the sprints, second in the kilo. This long of a race, I'm guessing he's just going to sit on now. If I were him, I would sit on. We'll see what he does here. So now it's a group of 4, 2 really close in tow, and now it's just kind of everyone blew up. This is when things are going fast. It's getting hard. They're seeing 3 to go. All right, we got a big group of 6 now. I can count. Looks like we have Henry, Carl, Chris, Steven, Kit, and Austin. I think I had them out of order, but that is who's up in that 6 group. There's a group of 3 right behind, though. They're seeing 2 to go. There we go, 2 to go. This is Carl at the front, Chris right behind him. Those are our 2 leaders right now. So yeah, Chris and Carl with 14 points. Steven, Henry, and David all with 10. Siegel with 9. Is Alex still in here? Or is he just soaking in his $50 somewhere? Oh, he's in the warm-up circle. There you are. He's got his $50. He's done. All right, here we go. They're coming into the bell, and no one is doing anything yet. Here we go. 1 to go, 1 to go, 1 to go. This is Wilson's at the front. Chris Wilson is right behind him. Henry, Austin, Carl's right in the mix. I see Mike. I see Kit. Here comes the sprint. Chris is going toe-to-toe with Steven. Henry's right there. Austin's right behind. Carl's right there as well. So this is Chris from the front. Henry right there. Steven Wilson's. Here we go. This is going to be close. Henry's trying to come around. Chris, who's it going to be to the line? It's going to be really, really close. It's going to be Henry. Ooh, I don't know. We got second between Chris and Steven. It looks like Carl got the 4th place. We got a few more riders finishing up. Great race by the B group. That is open category 1, 2, and 3s. It looks like this is going to be our last rider, if they can all make the exit. Yeah, if you need to cross. Madison riders, just be aware of the mass exodus. And if you figured out the racers, podiums will be tomorrow. So you're doing the right thing. You can get out of here. Hit up the beer garden if you're of age. Nice work by B group riders. Fast race. There you go, Madison riders going to come on up to the rail. This is going to be awesome. For those of you that stuck around, this is what we're waiting for. This is the Madison. This is a bit of a crazy one, the hand-slinging one. Personally, it's my favorite race. It is a little hard to follow, but pick a team that you are like, I want them to win, and just follow them. I'll make it a little bit easier. Nolan says, I want you to pick pink. Yep, Nolan's saying pick pink. Yep.
No one else.
No, yeah, there we go. So like I said, this is the partner race. This is going to be super fun. I'll let Billy get them started, and I'll hand it back over to Corey, the real announcer.
That's on my business card, you know.
Real announcer. Yep.
All right, here we go. Thanks for the break there off the microphone to my dear and beautiful wife. This is, again, a partner race. We got the riders going in. They'll be the relief to start, so they are not in the race to start. They'll come in second. So they'll get into position. And then our officials will start the riders here in a moment. All right, off we go. There's our relief riders. There we go. Okay, Madison, I'm back. I'm ready. 30 laps of racing. The group that's over on the back straight will start in the race. These guys here that are cruising now, they're going to find a spot somewhere along the rail to hang out and wait for their partner. And then they'll come on in, and we'll see some exchanges here. It's the first time tonight that these teams will be competing in this format. So we look forward to watching the Madison. Just about ready to get started. Riders on the track, up to speed, and off they go for this 30-lap scratch race. Their partners somewhere around the track. Some teams may wait here as it'd be an awfully early exchange, but looks like riders are ready. So we might start seeing some exchanges here. Yep, looks like riders are going to take another lap for some of these teams. We'll see Team Red do an exchange here on the back straight. You'll get a chance to see a couple of the teams on the home straight as it looks like both pink and white are lining them up to happen somewhere here along the home stretch. It's kind of based on where the relief rider wants to be. That's how this is going to happen. We're getting some good practice here between our teams as they haven't had a lot of chance this season to do this. We've had a limited season and not a lot of Madisons in our schedule. The Omnium has been interesting all night for all of our groups, and right now everything's nice and close in most of our fields. I'm going to take a look at the Madison Omnium too and see where our teams are because it's within a point or two per team. Looks like the dark green of Russell and Richter are at 16 points in the lead of the competition. Maddie Hers and Nolan Adams, the pink team, are in second with 15. And the yellow team of Andrew Karlberg and Nick Martinez are in third with 14. So it's really close to the top right now. So a great race happening at the top of the Omnium. Again, I'll name those teams one more time so you can kind of keep your eye on those three teams. Dark green at the lead with 16, pink in second with 15, and the yellow team in third with 14. So those are some teams you'll want to watch, see how they do in tonight's scratch. Their competition, as we said many times tonight, does not end at the end of tonight. This is really just the halfway point. We pick right back up with the same points they'll end tonight with. They start tomorrow off and continue to work towards that final points race where it'll all be settled. Some more good exchanges here happening on the home straight as one of our top teams here, two of our top teams making some changes here. There goes Team Pink throwing in Nolan Adams. We have determined there'll be 2 preems during this race for the $50 amount, so we'll be ringing the bell twice. Riders will be keeping their ears open for 2 preems, both of the $50 amount, for riders willing to do the Madison tonight. So none coming out yet, but there will be preems to make this fun and interesting during the middle of the race as well. Riders just now seeing 25 to go. Team White doing a quick exchange here on the home straight, looking like they got their moves figured out. As Brett Walker's tossed in by his buddy Carl Hofer. These first couple laps are really important for these teams that don't get to practice very often to make sure that they get coordinated on how to do these exchanges, because as you can see, it's challenging in a lot of ways. One of the things is how do the other riders interact with you as you're doing your exchange? Well, the basic rule is go over the top. So exchanges should happen as low as reasonable. And if riders have to go around, you go over the exchanging riders. Everybody's got to kind of figure that out. There's also just the pure mechanics of those exchanges. That's tough. You know, these riders are going 20, 25 miles an hour and throwing in a rider that's going significantly slower than them and trying to transfer their momentum over in a safe and efficient way. So it takes a little bit of practice, a little bit of mechanical things to figure out, but our riders are working it out. Team Orange really slinging it in over there in the back straight. Whoa. That was a nice exchange by our Orange team. Vern Cole doing a good job holding on as he tosses his partner in. The national colors, Andy Baker, decides to take the lead of the lap with the white team in close pursuit. Eric Waterman for the orange team right there as well. Again, our lead team in the overall standing is dark green, pink in second, and yellow in the chase in third in the overall points. Another nice couple exchanges. Good communication there on the home straight as we've got a lot of things going on. One of the other things you do if you are a newly relief rider, if you've just been the rider that tossed in your partner, you should really stay on your line as all the other riders navigate around you. You do not want to be the one moving and causing problems. So you notice the slow riders will oftentimes sit down in the lane and wait till they know they're safe before they come up higher on the track.
Your friendly reminder from Amara and Taylor is to go over exchanges. This is coming from the beer garden. Go over the exchanges, riders. It'll be a little bit safer.
See, when Amara says friendly reminder, it still sounds more harsh than when I was talking about it. Because she actually saw them messing up. I was just making it as a general PSA. But they are getting a little bit better at it. The navigation of this is getting smoother as the race goes on.
There we go.
Man.
Over exchanges, over exchanges. There we go. That looked better.
Still impressed by Waterman and Cole, their ability to toss each other in the orange team. If you want to see some good exchanges in terms of speed exchange, watch those two. They've been doing a good job of that. Down the back straight, it's White on the pace now, trying to break things up a little bit. One of our teams in the Omnium is starting to feel the pain here as it's getting separated a little bit for Team Yellow. Stars and Stripes making an exchange here. That's going to be Kenny Williams being brought in, number 2, to hold on to the pace of the white team. He does so well as Andy Baker will wait for the line to come around him and he can move up and out of the way. Another exchange for the dark green team. Oh, a good toss in. That was at high speed. It's Brando throws in his buddy Richter. The other way around, it looks like, actually. I can never tell those two apart from over here. But that's Brando now down low in the bike, trying to get up to the front of the field. Found Cycling on the move, trying to continue to show their dominance in the Omnium. They've got a 1-point advantage on it. The next team, Team Pink, who's watching them roll away.
By White. There we go. They're going to try to hunt down the Fount team.
Fresh legs on these exchanges oftentimes is the opportunity to make attacks happen. That's exactly what Brandon Russell does. And that's what the other teams are going to have to do here if they want to get back into the race. This is going to be another quick change for the Stars and Stripes. Good toss in for Andy Baker. Also has to go on the pursuit. Team Pink, they're in the points. They want to stay in this too. Here goes Nolan Adams. He's got to go move up and keep on the pace of this very fast Madison race. All of a sudden, his dark green is just off and away. Team Green still in the front. Our main field that's in the chase currently is made up of 4 teams. We've got Team White, Team Stars and Stripe, Team Light Blue, and Team Pink. 15 to go. That's Richter looking dominant again for his team. Kenny Williams gets tossed in on the wheel of Carl Hofer. Team Green driving the pace as Brando's now back in for it. The field getting a nice exchange here for Team White on the home straight. You'll see a nice toss in here for Brett Walker now. As Carl Hofer will take the relief. Looks like the back of the race might be caught soon by the green team. This is not a points race, so them catching means that other riders aren't on the lead lap for the finishing efforts. It's more about where they are in terms of on lead or not on the lead lap rather than earning points. The riders, oh geez. Riders almost getting caught, moving around a little bit there. Dark green getting a toss in there and caught a couple riders now. So they'll be in the no man's land between the field and the leaders. That would be the single malt Velos team and the red team currently. The Found Cycling duo looking very much on pace and very comfortable in their efforts right now. About a half lap up on the field is Team Green now, as the field's just now coming to the finish line. Andrew Martin of the light blue, he starts to back off a little bit. Andy Baker comes to the front for the Stars and Stripes team. They're the riders currently in pursuit and about a half lap back from the leaders. Richter just coming across a couple more teams. And puts Team Blue into no man's land now as they also get passed by the leaders but not yet caught by the field. As the field, this group now coming across the line, catches any riders off the back, those riders will then go down the lap. Right, so they'll not be on the lead lap anymore, they'll lose a lap. So that's kind of how we keep track of things out here. The field catching a few riders, it looks like here. Oh, nope, just some exchanges. Looks like single malt Velo might be caught here soon. So our first team to go down a lap as the field catches some, our single malt Velo team. The leader of the race is just now coming under the Stanley sign in turn 3. Our thanks to Stanley for their support in the beverage garden. Hope you're enjoying those beautiful logoed cups over there. And we thank our good friends in Seattle, Stanley, for helping us make those. A lot of people have been asking, can we buy some of these? We will be working to put together an order of those in due time. Dark green still off the front and looking close to catch Team Yellow. Andy Baker at the lead of the chasing field at 9 to go. Eight to go for the leader. Yellow's about to be found by the leader, so they'll be on the same lap there. Yellow now into no man's land. Orange about to be the same. Green team is just, man, they have unending power here tonight. They haven't gained a lot of ground on the field yet. They're basically half lap up this entire time, but still impressive as they got 4 teams chasing them and not really losing a single inch. At 7 to go, it's Richter for the dark green team, putting on a really good show tonight in terms of just pure athleticism in the Madison. Here comes our field on the home straight. That's going to be the pink team leading things out is Nolan Adams. The Chasers racing for second place overall right now in this scratch as they continue to not make a lot of real gains on dark green. Six to go for dark green. Here comes the chasing field, getting some exchanges here at the finish line. All right. Leader coming across here. We'll be seeing 5 to go. And this will just be a nice payout for Found Cycling because you know what? We got $100 to lead the lap. I got one sprint, one team out here this whole time. Nobody's been able to catch. I picked 5 laps again, and here's one team out the front. It's going to be dark green, so they'll like that. $100 to lead the lap, and it's going to be dark green on the lead lap that'll likely get there as the Chasers have not made enough progress to challenge. Looks like the red team might find themselves in no man's land here shortly as well as they're being caught by a green team now. Found Cycling picks up the preem. We put it together into one big one for the green team. Things are getting a little crazy out here, so we'll simplify. $100 to the green team, and the chase is on still at 4 to go. Team Yellow, Orange, and Single Malt Velo are no longer on the lead lap or are going to lose a lap if the field can catch them. They are certainly behind the leaders. The main chasing group, the next closest rider to the leaders, are in the middle of the back straight right now. As we can see, Kenny Williams for the Stars and Stripes is at the lead of that group of 4. A half lap back still from dark green, the front of the race. Everyone else on the track is somewhere behind this field. Three to go for the chasing field now. Here comes again a view of our leaders coming onto the home straight. As you see, coming on to now the 2 to go mark as Found Cycling is about to close this race down in just another 2 laps. That's Brando in now for his team. I dare say they've actually caught a little bit here. They're a little closer to the back of the pack than the pack is closer to the back of them. That didn't come out quite right, but you get the picture. The field just now crossed the finish line as under the Stanley sign is the lead of the race. Where's Richter at? Brando's still in here. He'll toss him in at some point. At 1 to go, it might be a final exchange here for Richter to come in. As coming into turn 2 under the Greg Cycle sign. He'll be looking for his partner in the back straight now. Final lap for all the riders. It's the last lap, our last exchange for Team Green as they can go close this thing down. 1 to go. I think even though he got exchanged in, he says, come on, relief rider. Let's go win this thing together. Might as well. They've got the distance. Green team will be our winners tonight in the Madison. They're in the lead in the Omnium. Out of the field, the sprint's coming. It looks like pink team wants to take the big collection out of that. It's going to be Maddie Hers out of the field to come across for second. Stars and Stripes in the light blue will go third and fourth. Fifth place, I believe, will go to Team White. Stuff gets kind of crazy in those races, huh? Well, that was a great time. We hope you enjoyed it. Ladies and gentlemen, friends of the track, thank you so much for being here tonight. You make our community events special. Thank you to the fans for coming out tonight. How about one more round of applause for all of our athletes for signing up and being a part of the carnival today. What a fun evening that was. They're the ones putting on the most amount of work. Don't forget, it's a weird start tomorrow, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. If you don't got anything else going on, we'll be here. The beverage garden's open, more racing. You can make some more noise and hoot and holler for the racers as we conclude the Marymoor Carnival, a brand new race format coming out here in 2021. Thank you for making the journey here to the Velodrome. We appreciate it. If you're online and you're still watching, don't forget to leave a thumb up and give us some feedback. Leave a comment. We appreciate you being here. Share the video around. We love you for supporting us in the online space just as much as if you're here in person. Thank you all. Have a fantastic rest of your night. We look forward to hosting you for some more racing here at the Jerry Baker Memorial Velodrome.